What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? My peeps, my peoples, we are in the building, peep squad. Let's get down to the situation. There's a whole lot going on. Lord have mercy. When it comes to Miss Jada Pinkett Smith, she done came out here in these streets and she started talking about, the Oscar slaps, and baby, people are like, why are you bringing this up again? It's like she can't win from losing. No matter what she does, she gonna lose in the situation. And also, when it comes to Jada Pinkett Smith being on the Red Table Talk and talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock having a conversation and sitting down together, and she hopes they have the opportunity to engage one another and they have the time to heal. I was like, baby, that's what Will Smith needs to be saying. That's what he needs to be talking about. And in any event, I don't even know why Jada even brought this situation up again, because now it just seems like people are like, girl, you should be quiet and things of that nature. And they're also saying, why isn't Jada, defending her husband? Why isn't she saying, oh, Will Smith did this because of this or because of that? Because there's a lot of legal ramifications out here in these streets, and you still don't know where Chris Rock stands and what Chris Rock's actually going to do in this situation, because he could still want to take her to court. He could still want to do some things out here. And right now, hopefully Will is healing. Hopefully Chris Rock is healing in this situation. But at the same time, people are calling out Jada because she spoke up on the situation again. And they're also saying that, oh, maybe she's doing this because she needs ratings for the Red Table Talk. So it's so much. So no matter where she go, no matter what she do, no matter what she say, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a situation each and every day. And then also, not only that, people are bringing up the situation as far as when it comes to Jada, and she finished, saying that me and Will are going to be doing this thing that we've been doing, for 27 years or 28 years, because I don't know if she's been married 28 years, 27 years, or Will and Jada been together 27 years or 28 years. Blase in the third, because the time and the dates when they met, and then what she said is really not accurate. So I don't know what she meant about that situation, but in any event, it's out here, and people now are claiming that Jada, she slick shade Will Smith when she did that, because they're saying when Jada said, we're going to continue to do this thing that we've been doing for 28 years, this thing called life. That is a name of August Alsina album. And so people are just saying that they're just too through with Jada in this situation. Maybe she just wanted to use that expression, but when it comes back to her ex-boo, and that was, the name of his album, his studio album, and also a song as well, talking about you want that old thing back, baby. That's like a question, like what's going on, like what's happening, what's up, me, what's up, Miss T, how you doing, how y'all feeling? I am shocked she won't let Will. Will doesn't want, I don't believe Will wants to come and do the table talk, because I believe if he wanted to, he would have already did the Red Table Talk, because not too long ago, there was a, like maybe a month ago, I did put out a video, and Jada was basically gave a statement on the Red Table Talk or something of that nature, as far as, she wants Will to speak about the situation. She wants him to speak about it on the Red Table Talk, but he's not ready to speak about it. And she wants him to speak about it. She wants him to face everything that is actually going on, as far as him losing his job, as far as slapping Chris Rock, and as far as these things that she wanted him to have this conversation with her on Red Table Talk. But I think he declined to do that because his career is on the line, and a lot of his projects, which they didn't just stop, but they just halted. And, they're not coming out, and people got a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to Will Smith. They're thinking about replacing him and things of that nature. And as you guys know, they got the Red Table Talk, which it comes to Jada. And is this Red Table Talk the death of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith? Is Red Table Talk the death of Jada Pinkett Smith? Because it seems like every time when she's talking about her relationship, she's talking about her marriage, when she's talking about Will, when she talks about what she's been through and things of that nature throughout her marriage, it almost seems like people pick it apart, and it seems that she's coming off as a narcissist. This is what people are saying. This is what the people that are attacking her saying, because the people have, really came after Jada, and they're saying that she is the death of Will. And then from that red table talk, guys, are picking it up from the manosphere and basically saying she's emasculating Will. She's no good to Will. She's low down to Will. Look, she don't even love Will. Look how she disrespects him and things of that nature. And then they talk about the relationship that, she had with August Alsina. And then it comes to fruition that, oh, maybe Jada and Will had an open relationship, because that's what a lot of people thought. But then Will Smith gets on and he starts to talk in his interview, and he said there was never any infidelity committed between them two. And people are saying Will is doing that because he's trying to save face for Jada. Why do people think Jada is a monster? Why do people think that Jada is controlling Will? Is it because of the red table talk? Is it because she wants to help people by letting them in her life and telling them her life story that now is backfiring, and she doesn't see that it has backfired and it's continued to backfire against her? What's up? What's up, Rashida Leva? How you doing? So in any event, let's get to what Jada said. And she's been ripped apart for this situation, y'all.
To heal, talk this out. About Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. The state of the world today, we need them both. And we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I have done for the last 28 years. And that's keep figuring out this thing called life together. Thank you for listening. Now about Oscar night.
And then also, a lot of people are like, what's going on, Jada? About Oscar night, you just give us that little bit and then you move on to alopecia. Why couldn't we get more? Like, what went down between you and Will Smith? How does he feel? How is he handling things? How is he going through things? And I don't believe that she's able to speak up on that, because Will Smith's career is in danger. I mean, as far as in danger as new projects, and he may, the projects that he has already completed, they are shelved. So he don't even know when his projects are coming out. So I believe that she's not able to talk about that, but it just looks like Jada wanted to speak about it. It just looks like Jada wanted to say more about the situation. Point blank, period. It looked like she just really wanted to get in down and deep. And it looked like her mother was like, oh my God. Gammy looked like she was like, okay, Jada, we know what you told us in confidence, but okay, are you going to stick to the script, or are you going to say it all? And, they're looking at Jada like they want Jada to, erase the script and then basically say what she really wanted to say. Because I know she wants to address these issues, because people have been coming after her for that smack and blaming her for that particular smack, that Will Smith did. They're saying that she was laughing, she was smiling, but she could have been laughing at the earlier joke when it comes to Will Smith. And then he got up and then he smacked, Chris Rock there, saying that Jada should have got up. So Jada, what is that? What about this? Did you want to get up? Did you want to stop Will? Did you think that Will was going to smack him? When Will got up out of his chair, did you want to get up? Did you want to say anything to him? Like, what was it? How was you feeling? Was you in shock? Was you paralyzed in the chair? Or you wanted him to be a man and do what he wants to do? Because if she would have got up, everyone is saying now, after the situation went down at the Oscars, that they wanted, Jada to stop him. If Jada loved Will, she should have got up there and she should have stopped him. But if she would have stopped him, what people have said to her, that, oh, look at her, she's emasculating him, she's stopping him, he's going up there to confront, Chris Rock, look at her getting in his way. But if there was some way that she could have stopped him, it wouldn't be this much craziness going on. So y'all tell me what y'all think about this. What do you think about Jada Pinkett Smith today? Red Table Talk. She gets up there, she gives us a little bit, just a little bit, just a tiny bit of the situation, and that's where people are saying, "Hey, girl, are you doing this for ratings?" And then some other people are saying that she wanted to say more. To me, it felt like Jada wanted to say more because, the blame has removed from Will, most of it, by the public onto Jada. Will has to, correct all the situation with these people that he's dealing with when it comes to, production, producers, network, and also movie producers and things of that nature, and also Hollywood period, and all the movie, all the movie producers, like Disney, all of them, Fox, everything, Lionsgate, all that other stuff, everything that, he has to work up out that situation, especially when it comes to Apple TV, when it comes to Netflix, when it comes to basically getting his film out there, because they are in charge, you know? So y'all tell me what y'all think. Will is a grown man, and therefore he is responsible for what he did. They are definitely going to cash in by doing a red table talk eventually, so Will can tell his truth. I want to know what Will wants to say about the situation, because with this going on, Jada spoke, and from months ago, it seemed like Jada wanted to address this situation. And she also alluded that it seems like Will just he's hiding, and she doesn't want him to hide anymore about this. Like, it's already done, it's already happened. Like, get out here, say something, do something. Don't, don't sink, don't be in the sunken place. But now they're saying Jada is the sunken place, y'all. And then not only that, when this situation actually went down at the Grammys, at the Oscars, when it comes to Jada, a lot of people are saying that she doesn't have alopecia. Now, if the little snippet from Red Table Talk, if you go onto Instagram, you go onto TikTok, and you go onto YouTube, and even in my comment section, people are saying that they don't believe Jada even has alopecia. They believe that she is sitting out here lying, point blank, period. And there's so many different, blogs, and so many different people are saying that, oh my gosh, she doesn't have alopecia. I have alopecia. She doesn't. So it's like, it's a losing situation when it comes to Jada Pinkett Smith, point blank, period. And, there are also some reports that Jada, when Red Table Talk actually first begun, that she did address, having hair loss and things of that nature. And, Page Six reported that Jada basically said that she did have alopecia, back when Red Table Talk came out in 2018. So in any event, people were saying she looks like nothing like the people that have alopecia. It looks like she has stubs. It looks like she has this. Well, why would she sit there and lie? Like, that would be the worst thing in the world for her to do, is to lie about having alopecia, because eventually it comes out. All them scams that they have, and they say, oh, I got cancer, I got this, I got that, please donate, and things of that nature. But when it comes to a high profile couple like this, if that's the case, it's going to come out. And, people are saying Will is worried about that. But do you guys believe that Jada has alopecia? Like, why would she lie? Like, that's crazy for her to lie. But we have seen people lie about everything and anything. Okay, sometimes lying is a disease, it's a disorder, it's pathological. We done seen people lie for views and ratings and a paycheck. But y'all can't believe Jada would sit out here and lie. For real. But people really do, and they're basically coming after her when she said me and Will Smith are going to continue to do that thing called life that we've been doing for 28 years. And that's the name of August Alsina album. What y'all think about that? Like, yo, she can't catch a break. She can't catch a break. And then also, just being with August Alsina and that whole situation, if they had an open marriage, there's been many of times where people said Will Smith is dating this person, that person. He's out here doing this with his this new actress, but no one ever came forth like August came forth, where she had to sit down and address the situation, and it was called entanglements. And then not only that, it's messing with someone that is actually like got mental illness, got drug addiction, got physical ailments. That was just like the worst thing. And then on top of that, he's your son friend, and he came to your house. So people haven't forgot that. And so now it's just like, oh, Will Smith done smack Chris Rock for you. Oh, why did he do that? You ain't a good wife. You ain't a good this. You ain't a good that. Why did Will Smith do that? He did that to please her. Everything, like, Jada, I think you just need to, just move on and not talk about the situation and let Will Smith address it. But it also seems like she was actually putting it out there as far as wanting Will Smith to talk about it and, securing the interview of Will. And then it would be, I don't even know why Facebook has not cut the check for Chris Rock. Chris Rock said he would tell his story if the money is right. Could you imagine Chris Rock and Will Smith sitting down on the red table talk, having a conversation? Shit, it'll be better than TV. So you guys let me know what you actually think about this situation. And then also when it comes to, other blogs, and when it comes to page 6 is basically reporting that when it comes to Jada Pinkett Smith in 2018, she was telling people her struggles when it comes to the loss of her hair and also having a disorder which is called alopecia, and revealing to the world that she has alopecia. They're saying that she did this in the beginning because people are basically saying that, Jada is saying that she has alopecia, just to get sympathy. And she just did that recently. And she's just trying to push that button to show that, hey, listen, this is why this went down. And Will Smith did what he did. And a lot of people are not too happy with Jada and the Red Table Talk today because they feel like, okay, if you're going to talk about alopecia, the different stages, the different people that are suffering from alopecia, maybe you shouldn't bring in the Oscar slap and then saying that Will Smith and Chris Rock need to heal and then actually have a conversation, have the opportunity to reconcile and the situation, because, it's almost like you're mixing them both and showing that, oh my God, look at these kids, look at what happened to people suffering from alopecia, which is a good thing to do. But at the same time, if you just show alopecia and not mention Will or Chris Rock, that's cool. That's like you're just talking about alopecia. But people now saying that Jada is trying to, justify, what she was going through and what she was suffering through the kids and through the people that was on Red Table Talk talking and expressing their experience with alopecia and what they go through as what she went through and her husband watched, which was Will Smith. And that's why, he couldn't control himself. So it's like she's trying to do damage control and then damage at the same time. This is what people are saying. And it was like, we almost forgot about the smack girl. We ain't even talking about, the other comedian. We ain't even talking about, all the other stuff that went on with Dave Chappelle. It's back to, Will Smith. You should have just let the Dave Chappelle things keep going, and whatever Mo'Nique and D.L. Hughley going through it, like let that simmer, let that take place. But now it's like, okay, but I think Jada wanted to speak. I think Jada wanted to say something. I think Jada, wanted to, get her opinion out. But then there are reports that there are people that work for Jada that are not happy that she goes through employees back and forth. So there's just so much that we need. If you're going to address any of the situation when it comes to the slap, address why do you feel that Will slapped, Chris Rock? And were you, did you show that mean face because, or you looked at Chris Rock, I mean, not Chris Rock, but, Will Smith in that way because you was hurt, because you wanted him to do something? Like, what was it? Like, did he read body language? Because you said you've been together for 28 years, so he knew it hurt. And were you hurt when Chris Rock said what he said. And if she was hurt, I don't think that she's going to come out here and say until time passes on, because it's still up in the air what Chris Rock can do about the situation. Because most of the time when you Google Chris Rock and you say Chris Rock and you add any type of letter to it, it's going to go back to the smack. But Chris Rock said he's willing to tell his story if the price is right. So why haven't Will Smith and Chris Rock got together and basically sat down and talk about this situation? We don't want you guys to wait for 5 years, 6 years from now. They might cancel Red Table Talk. They might cancel Jada because they're trying to cancel Jada. They're trying to cancel Jada more than anything in the world. And people are saying that, it don't look like you got alopecia, but they are what Jada was trying to express, which I think that she got wind of a lot of people commenting and saying that they don't believe that she has alopecia. So therefore, she wanted to have the show talk about, I do have alopecia. There's different types of forms of alopecia. Because people were saying, girlfriend, that scar that you got on your head is like you had a surgical procedure. You still got stubs. You are not totally completely bald. Your eyebrows are not gone. Your eyelashes are not gone. And so Jada came out to say, oh, there's different stages of alopecia, and there's different ones. Like there's like 7 different types of alopecia that affect people differently. You can get alopecia from your hormones, declining and things of that nature. So, it's a whole lot going on in that situation. But, and also when she said at the end of the day that, her and Will going to continue to do the same thing they have been doing for 28 years, is figure this thing out called life together. Will Smith said in 2006 that he does not believe in divorce, and divorce is not an option at all. It's not possible. He said only way, he sees it is death do us part, until death. And he goes, so I'm going to be dead if we're not going to be together. So Will said this in 2006. I don't know if he done changed his mind about the situation, but he loved her to death, baby. And Jada done said in 2018 that she don't think that there's any type of situation in life that her and Will Smith cannot work it out, that they cannot be together. And and she perfectly told Will that if you gonna marry me, you gonna stay with me, and you gonna live with me, we gonna live under one roof, point blank, period. And she doesn't think there would ever be a reason for her to get divorced. And she said she had this conversation with Will Smith before they married. Okay, so y'all tell me what y'all think about that situation. I was like, it's definitely going down. So do you guys believe that, Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia? I don't believe that she'll lie about that. Come on. That's just like saying you're a public figure and you're an A-lister. I don't know what she is on the list now, saying that you got alopecia and you don't. There might be a doctor that might come through, be like, and leak some records. Doctors and hospitals, they leak records. Ask Kevin Samuels, ask all these, entertainers that have passed away, and their autopsy photos and everything in their system and what diseases they had and things of that nature has reached the internet. Okay. So that would be crazy. And so, as you can see, there's so many different levels of alopecia. There's so many different kinds of alopecia where it affects people differently, where it affects their scabs, half of their scab, it goes away, it comes back, all types of different things. But in any event, a lot of people that suffer from alopecia, from what I'm seeing on the posts under major large blog sites, and the people that I have had personal conversations with all over the week, is basically that people really don't believe she has alopecia. This is crazy. So do y'all believe she has it, or do she not have it? Y'all tell me. But in any event, let's move on from the situation. Let's talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, baby. Johnny Depp done won the case. Johnny Depp done came successful in the situation. Johnny Depp is doing his thing, baby. He done got awarded $15 million. OMG, like Johnny Depp. Like, I didn't even think Johnny Depp was living this life like this. I wish I would, like, NT mother effer come up into my life and change it and destroy me, destroy my career, destroy my life, do things to hinder me. I wish I would. If I was Johnny Depp, Edward Scissorhand out here, Secret Window, 21 Jump Street, all these other movies, Caribbeans of the Pirates, or whatever the case may be. I wish all that hard work I do, I would let somebody come in and basically assassinate who I am personally by our relationship. You can try to help, baby. Here's 5 million, here's 3 million, here's 4 million. Get some help. I'm done. Straight up. And Amber Heard, if you didn't like the relationship and he was abusive, this and that, I would have been gone, baby. You know what I mean? There's some women that stay with an abusive partner because they have nowhere to go. They don't want to go to a shelter. Imagine going to a shelter when we had this pandemic going on. You got monkey this and monkey that. You know what I mean? Like pop out here in these streets. You know, there's some women that getting refused from shelters. Don't even know where a shelter's at. Y'all got money, support, and everything, and y'all chose to stay in this crazy relationship. Y'all can get doctors. There's people ain't never seen a doctor, don't even got the money to go see a doctor. The Obamacare and all the free care that they say out here, certain people don't got access to none of that. Y'all got everything, and y'all chose to live and torture and hell. I would be gone. I would be gone. I would be out the window, baby. Like, And any event, like this is really a sad situation. And it could imagine the family watching this. Imagine looking at Johnny Depp from the beginning of his career and then watching him slowly fall, watching this relationship that he has totally just, I mean, he was already on a little something, something, doing a little toot, toot, a little boot, boot, a little drink, drink, a little smoke, smoke, a little, snort, snort, a little huff, huff, or whatever, allegedly, and then now he goes off the deep end, baby. And you wanted a young, beautiful, successful, attractive woman on your shoulder, baby. You got exactly what you asked for. You got hell walking, baby. Hell walking. You know how some men be like, I wish I never left her. I wish I would have never left my kid's mother. I wish I would have never left my ex-wife. I wish I would have never left my high school sweetheart. They pick up something that everybody say, oh, this is good. This is everything. They wild. They crazy. They sexy. They young. They tight. They this. It's sitting up. Blase and the third. And they leave the true love of their life for somebody that really loves them. And then they end up like Johnny Depp. That's what happened, y'all. That's what happened. So be aware. You might be in a bad relationship, not a bad relationship, but things might not be as perfect as you want them to be or your idea, but you can change it. You can work on it because you can communicate. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard could not communicate. They could not talk. Okay. And if I know Amber Heard wish she has never went over there to the UK and started running her mouth, baby. I know she wish she had an attorney that would have told her, you can say this and you can say that, but you can't say too much. So this is what you can say so you don't get sued, baby girl. Because $10 million, she got to pay him $15 million, $10 million, and $10 million. Like she don't even got $10 million. Her network says that she only has about -$8 million. I don't know if that's real or that's true, but they saying that she ain't got no money, baby. So how is she going to pay him that $10 million? That means any job and anything that she ever do that's contract and she got to pay taxes for, and it's a legitimate business, that money's going to have to go to Johnny Depp, point blank, period. He won $10 million, okay, and damages. And then, and punitive damages, he won $5 million. How is she going to get that money to pay him? Sometimes it's good to shut up. Sometimes it's good not to speak. Sometimes it's good to only be surface talking like Jada. This is what Jada's doing. She's doing surface talking. She's not going all the way in because she ain't trying to get sued, baby. Okay. So there's a whole lot going on in that situation. That is really crazy. And she has to pay Johnny Depp $2 million. And then on top of that, she did not get any punitive damages at all. And she's blaming the system. She's blaming the world. She's blaming the United States of America because she said in the UK they listened to her. In the UK, they followed her. In the UK, they wanted to be bothered with her. In the UK, they could see it. But in America, when it comes down to the situation, somebody that has power and influence and access and money and everything like Johnny Depp has, that the court system don't hear you. Your voice is quiet. And then on top of that, women has went back, like we have stepped in a time back. The ticking clock has went backwards. And she's really upset about the situation. And she's basically saying that this is a humiliation, it's shameful, that when somebody dogs you out and do you wrong and do you in, that when you publicly speak out about it and you tell your story, it's over for you. It's finito, it's done. And the powers that be in the USA basically just showed all women in the world that you don't have freedom of speech, and you also can't voice your opinion, and men with power and influence could dog you out and take you out. And that's what she's saying. Girl, you said too much. You should have had an attorney. The UK newspaper, the UK people that interview you, they're good. You ain't good. Okay. And now I wonder if Hollywood is going to turn their back on her, because they definitely did dog out Johnny Depp lost a lot of jobs, y'all. You know what I mean? But right now, Johnny Depp gave his statement, and he's saying that he's free, y'all. 6 years he got freedom. The jury done gave him freedom. He's out here, hopefully he ain't out here drinking and smoking and getting high and toot and booting it up, baby. But right now he's free. He feels like he's free and he's happy. He released a statement and he said he did it for his kids. He did it for his family. He did it for his people. He did it for, men. He did it for everybody that has somebody to come out here and lie on them and say something negative about them and destroy their career and have them lose jobs. That's who he did it for. He did it for the common folk. He did it for the real folk. And he is so happy that the jury done came out here and basically believed him and understood what he said and could see through all the lies. He is out here, baby. He is happy. He's so glad that he had finally accomplished, proven to his children that he is not that monster that she painted of him. Baby, he's out here celebrating. You already know he is tore up from the floor up right now. Hopefully they both go get some mental health. Hopefully Jada go get some mental health too as well. Hopefully Jada, just see that this is one of them situations that she ain't gonna change nobody's mind. And it's one of them situations that Will is going to have to take care of, because right now it's just looking bad for her, because people are coming after her and everything that she says. But in any event, Johnny Depp is happy in this situation and he has prevailed and he's going to get his $15 million. I don't think so. But Amber Heard is going to appeal the decision. But in any event, she's somewhere getting tooted, booted as well. But moving on from that situation, let's talk about this. When it comes to Bethany, they are naming her reality royalty. MTV is honoring Bethany as reality TV royalty. What about the rest of the girls? What about Tammy Roman? She's been doing this since 1993. So are they going by how much money you got? Is that what it is? How much influence you got? Okay. Well, what about Tiffany Pollard? Okay. Well, what about Miss Nene Lee? There's so many that we can keep going and going. But Bethany wins, y'all. What y'all think about that? She wins in this situation. Like, Lord have mercy. And so let's get on to this situation when it comes to D.L. Hughley. It's just crazy. But the phone lines are open. The phone lines is on the screen. If you want to talk about, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and the verdict and things of that nature, feel free to call in. And also, if you want to talk about, Jada and Will, feel free to call in. But also, when it comes to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, the case took place, the courthouse, the city, state, town, whatever the case may be, took place where only award you can get the amount for when it comes to punitive damages is only like $325,000. And so Johnny Depp was awarded $5 million in punitive damages. But since the trial took place in the state of Virginia, The judge can only award him $350,000, y'all. So he didn't get the 5 million, but I don't even think he want. He want the 5 million, but I just think the situation is he's feeling vindicated in the whole situation. So if you guys want to call in, don't forget the numbers on the screen, y'all. And so let's move on to this Mo'Nique situation. You guys already know it's the battle of the contracts. That's one thing. It's the battle of, D.L. Hughley calling out Mo'Nique, saying that he would never ever work with her again. And also D.L. saying that there is plenty of occasions where he refused to work with Mo'Nique, point blank, period. But this time he decided to work with her with New Day and the talent show they was going to put on, and he would never do it again. And it was a big mistake from his better judgment. He shouldn't have worked with her. And Mo'Nique is refuting that. And she said, that is not the case, Dada. That is not the case. She's saying that she refused to work with him on his show, his TV show, All of Us, or, I don't know, whatever show that he had a long time ago when he was a husband and a father and he had 2 kids, whatever the name of that show is. On the CW, I don't know, on TV1 or whatever show that show was on. All of Us. Was it All of Us? I don't know. It was one of them shows. She said she refused to work with him. And he says his name was on the contract. And his name is on his contract basically says that he was the headliner and a closer. And Mo'Nique tried to be shady and tried to, cause a commotion. So therefore she can be the headliner. And Mo'Nique responds to that situation is, baby, I have a contract. Yes, it's a contract for my company, but when you are an actor or when you have your own business, the company that is contracting you don't know exactly what you want. So that's why you send them a contract from your business, your LLC, and your company, and then you get them to sign it, and therefore you got a deal. And she says D.L. Hughley never had a deal because he had a deal memo. And so in any event, when it comes to the deal memo, some people are saying that it may not be a contract, but it's valid because everything that he want to happen happened in that deal memo that he posted, to Instagram, that he was the headliner, he closed, and he got paid, and he left. So there's no dispute. Mo'Nique said, where's your contract at? And then Mo'Nique calls out a whole bunch of comedians as well. She called out Ricky Smiley too. He was just added onto the list because it was already Kim Whitley. It was already Gary Owen, and also comedian Shang, and some other people as well. But we're going to get to it. So let's listen to what D.L. Hughley had to say about the whole situation. Let's check this out.
I only work where I want to work and who I want to work for. I want to work with. I don't work because that is a very precious place. I've been offered a gig, a couple of gigs, 3 or 4 gigs to work with Mo'Nique in LA, in Brooklyn, in Houston. And I turned them down because I didn't think it would work. So after talking to a lot of people, one of the very people in this room about how things are different, 2 of the very people in this room, as a matter of fact, things are different, and look at how things coming around. I decided it would be wrong for me not to get some other tips based on things that they'd never done to me. That would have been wrong for me. And when she talks, and she goes on a diatribe, and she talks about me having my feet under her table. That was at her invitation. I was doing a gig in Greenbelt, Maryland. She lived in Baltimore. She was having a fight party. It was, I think, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And sure enough, I came to her table at her invitation. It was a wonderful time. As a matter of fact, it was based on that interaction, along with talking to people, I decided that I would do these gigs. I decided I would do it. And now I know what Tyler Perry knows. I know what Lee Daniels knows. I know what Oprah knows. I know what Steve Harvey knows. I know what Charlamagne the God knows. I know what Netflix knows. Saying yes to Mo'Nique is an occupational hazard. Now, we're playing a gig in Detroit this weekend. I know I'm going on at 9:45. I leave the hotel. I get there around 9. Mo'Nique had just gotten there. She's supposed to be there at 8:40. She had just gotten there, gone at 8:40. She got there at 8:30. What Mo'Nique was trying to do was to slow walk the show. She didn't end up being on for 30 minutes. The oldest trick in the world is, if I want to change the order, and I don't have merit, I'll try to make people wait so long that everybody gets nervous and go, please, just go on so we can avoid the conflict. That didn't happen. Mo'Nique got on stage. Mo'Nique actually felt like she had merit. She would have done one of three things. Either she would have took it up with the promoter, and she did, and the promoter said, we're going on, whether you go on or not, that's a different thing. You would have not done it, but she knew she had to be on stage, or she would have been in breach of contract, or she would have come to talk to me. She didn't ever, and I emphatically emphasize this. She never once talked to me. I haven't seen Mo'Nique in years. I didn't see her at the venue before, after, or during. I haven't spoken or seen Mo'Nique. So if you really thought that you had a legitimate contract dispute, you would have come to me and said, hey, I have this contract, you have this contract. Notice not one thing on that contract, not one person she has on that contract, not one thing happened. Do you know why? Because it wasn't legitimate. And she goes on stage and she proceeds to eviscerate me. Not just me, but Steve Harvey, the sexual, my wife, my dog later on in subsequent conversation. Let me ask you something. What did any of that have to do with alleged contract dispute? What did Steve Harvey have to do with your contract? What did I have to do with your contract? What did my dog have to do with your contract? What does my wife have to do with your contract? You wrote your contract, you and your daddy. You proceeded to say things that were so patently insulting that it was galling. It was galling. You asked in subsequent conversations why I have a dog, a support dog. What kind of person has a support dog? I have that dog because my father died. My children and family decided they would get a dog from where he was from, and I named the dog after my father. I don't have a dog to keep people away from me. I have a dog, so I have my father with me all the time. That is an act of love that you know very little about. You proceeded to assault my sexuality. You have the temerity to assault someone's sexuality, a man's sexuality, given who you lay next to. None of that had anything to do with alleged contract dispute. You could have taken that up with a lawyer. You would have gotten out. You could have not gone on stage, but you knew you didn't have a valid contract. And you do what you always have done. You tried to weaponize Black femininity. You tried to turn that audience against me. You tried to burn everything down, like you do all the time. Who calls Netflix and thinks I can get $10 million because I did the Queens of Comedy? Who thinks you can get on stage and still live off that? I was a king of comedy. You never hear me talking about it because in this business, like any other, it isn't what you have done, it's what you do. That show was what I signed on to do. I made the quintessential mistake, the horrible mistake that like Tyler Perry, like Lee Daniels, like Oprah, like all these people are saying yes to you. It is an occupational hazard. It is my fault. I have learned my lesson. And the thing that bothers me the most isn't the things that you say, because I know who I am and I know what I do. And I have a pristine reputation. Everybody who knows me know what I'm about. It's this whole, my dear, my babies, I love you for real, which is so transparently false, it is ridiculous. But the thing that was really the most annoying, the thing that was really the most bothersome, is after a terrible couple of weeks where people were being slain in Buffalo, where people were being slain, kids were getting slain in school, and people had come to a comedy show to get away from all of their problems, you besieged them with yours. The one contract that isn't in dispute is the one that the audience had with us to...
Okay, Mo'Nique, she refutes this, and she says that there's no such thing as Mo'Nique ever requesting or her daddy and her husband actually wanting to work with D.L. Hughley. She actually says he asked her to come, and he also says the audience loved the show. So we're gonna get to what Mo'Nique said, but you know, she refutes these things, but he's cussing her out. Lord.
Entertainment, but every single time, more and more, you spend half of your time talking about your grievances and what you didn't get, who did this to you. Listen, when you burn things up and you sit back to watch the results of them, he's literally set that stage on fire, said the most incendiary things ever, and I had to go on stage. If he has the temerity to call me a coward would have left. A coward would have said, I can't go. You didn't even want to go on when you had a contract that you knew that not to be true. You made up this whole narrative that you knew not to be true, and you played that out in front of the audience. And then I had to go on behind you. And you know what you did? You stepped back and you tried to watch your damage. You set the stage on fire and you watch what you've done. You know who does that? Arsonists do that. Arsonists set shit on fire and try to see the damage again. But I blame myself because I know now what I didn't before. Saying yes to you is an occupational hazard, one I will not repeat. I don't blame you. I wish you were. But when you do the things you do, when everything's about you, when you're vitriolic, and you have all these fights with all of these entities, it is you. Precious was not a movie. Precious was an autobiography. That is who you are, literally. You mad at the contract you and daddy wrote? Your daddy? And I don't know why you call a man daddy and you pay for him. That's a son. Let's be clear.
Ooh.
I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with me. I did what I knew not to be true. But I'm going to tell you something. When you burn and you destroy and you wreck, you are not a queen of comedy. You're a queen of ashes. And while I'm going to go back to work and you get back to your kingdom of smoke. That's a little note from the GED section.
And so Mo'Nique says she was not unprofessional. She planned on cussing his ass out when she got on stage, y'all. She said that I thought that maybe, when she went back and forth with the promoter and she says that D.L. Hughley basically refused to get on stage if he wasn't closing and if he wasn't the headliner. And that's when she, basically changed her comedy routine. And that's not the case. No, she came there for the smoke. She came there to roast him because she said he's been roasting her for 13 years, talking about her mental health, talking about daddy, talking about Kanye West, talking about Ice Cube, talking about all these people and things of that nature. And she said, yes, she called out Steve Harvey because he did her in. And she said the reason why she's upset with D.L. Hughley is because of this. And I was saying to myself, like, yeah, you should have, do it behind the scenes, or maybe make your comedy routine a little bit different. But coming after him, people are going to accuse you of being that person that always have problems and that person that always have situations with people. Every time they work with you, a bridge is being burnt, with the high value names or whatever the case may be. But in any event, Mo'Nique says she don't give a ish about none of that. She said that she went there to roast him and she couldn't wait to see him, and she wanted to roast him while he was in person, while he was there. She came there with the boxing gloves, you know what I mean? So she said it was nothing about professionality. So she was going to roast him anyway and talk the way that she did, but she's saying him using his sexuality and using his family and using the supportive dog as cry me a wolf and cry me a victim, cry me a river is all fugazi. Now he wants to be sensitive, you know what I mean? So it's just like Mo'Nique says she don't care what people think. She says she'd rather die one time than to die 1,000 times as a coward. She says she don't care if she don't get hired. She don't care. She's not bowing down to nobody. She gonna speak her mind regardless. And if y'all don't like where her career is at, she should have this and that. She says, in so many words, she says she'd rather not work if she got to kiss booty. Okay? So let's get to her. It's upside down because she went upside down and then, this live, and I couldn't re-record it, but let's just see what Mo'Nique has to say.
On the radio. And please forgive me, I can't remember their names. So we're having a great time doing this interview. Well, when we get to the end of the interview, the sister Jasmine says, hey, Mo'Nique, would you like to play a game? And I said, okay, sis, let's play the game. Well, when she said the game is called Would You Rather? So I said, okay, I'm down for it. And then the sister says to me, would you rather your husband sleeps with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?
Breathe that in for a sec.
Listening, is that offensive? Is that insulting? Is that going too far?
And how, when you are pro-black or portray yourself as a pro-black man, how is that helpful to the community to ask, would you sleep with Lee Daniels?
Okay, so what Mo'Nique is actually talking about, because the video is like an hour and 30 minutes, so I tried to cut it up a little bit, and I wanted to switch it over, but it didn't happen, so it wouldn't be upside down. But in any event, Mo'Nique is saying that she went on the D.L. Hughley show, she went to his radio show, he wasn't there, but one of the associates that were there that was interviewing Mo'Nique basically asked her, would she rather her husband have sex with, Lee Daniels with a condom, or have sex with Corinne Stefan without a condom. And she felt that it was very disrespectful. And she reached out to D.L. Hughley to tell him, like, I came on your show, but one of your associates and the people that you work with asked me a disrespectful question. And then, it kind of gets like, the husband says it didn't bother him, but then he says it did bother him. And so this is where the beef begins with D.L. Hughley and Mo'Nique. She says she reached out to him to tell him what had went on and what had happened, and she thought that he was going to reach out to her and basically have that conversation, but he didn't. And she told him that I advise you not to air you guys asking me that question, because it's basically terrible that you guys asked me that, and there could be some ramifications behind asking that question. You're making yourself look bad and your show look bad when you say you're here for Black people. And so that's where the beef starts. She also says that at one point in time, her and D.L. Hughley had a show together. And when they had a show together, only 10 people showed up. Mo'Nique said that she invited the 10 people and, D.L. Hughley back to her house. She cooked them food and they had a good time. And she said that from that moment, she thought that they were friends until she was asked to do an interview on his show, his radio show, or whatever show he has. I don't know what D.L. Hughley has. And she was asked that question, and then that's when she felt a certain type of way, and he didn't apologize, and he said things about her, so therefore she went in. But, check it out.
Daniels with a condom, would you prefer your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without? Because any way Mo'Nique speaks on it, what happens? You're downgrading the other person.
Yes.
And despite the fact that Mo'Nique and Lee were having a rift at the time, she refused to say anything negatively against them in that regard. She wasn't going to play that. But to your point, then what happened?
So DL was not there that day. I said to his team, let me call D.L. Hughley, because what I know is that brother ain't down like that. He gonna have a problem with y'all saying that kind of foolishness. So I get D.L. Hughley's telephone number, and I call D.L. Hughley, and I said, hey man, I just did an interview with your people, and this is what they trying to run. Like, this is the game they trying to play. And DL's response was, that's just how we do, and that's what it is. I said, really, brother? So we attack families now? Like, what you doing? Like I said, that's just how we do. I said, DL, I would suggest you don't air that, because I don't think it's gonna make you look good to the community. Now, if y'all notice, that never got aired, and I never said anything. Through the years, I never said anything. I kept it to myself, because it let me know, for whatever reason, D.L. Hughley was not cool with me, for whatever reason. Then through the years, and I want y'all to hear me, please. Through the years, I've listened to this man talk about all that I'm not, what I didn't deserve. I was mentally ill. I was bitter. Me and my husband did poor business. I was selfish. I was fanatic. I was psychotic. Now, don't take my word, please. You can Google it for yourself, YouTube it for yourself. D.L. Hughley speaks on Mo'Nique. And through the years, my babies, I said nothing, because I knew the day would come that I would see D.L. Hughley. Now, for every interview he's done, I didn't get it from nobody else's mouth. I watched it for myself. And I watched this brother sit down with that white cat,
Vlad,
and tell this white man all that I wasn't, as the white man told him, all that me and my husband wasn't. And I watched D.L. Hughley go in. Now, it ain't that he just goes in on me. D.L. Hughley has a habit of saying freely what he wants to say about anybody.
Ice Cube.
Come on.
Angela Stanton.
Come on. Kanye West. Like the young babies.
Islam.
The young babies, the rappers, Young Thug and Gunna.
Yep.
See, and let me tell y'all, when I made that joke about you, D.L. Hughley, I didn't think you would get tender in your feelings because you made the comment about the baby stage names and you said with names like that, don't you think they would wind up in jail? Well, that's what you said. Well, I thought I was coming back being clever, making a joke because you know back in the day when somebody was on the DL, you know what they were. I don't think you're a homosexual man, DL. I was making a joke and I can't believe you got tender. See, you got tender after you've talked for years. So let me be clear to you babies watching. Saturday night, I don't care where I went up on that stage, I was going to hand D.L. Hughley his ass. Because through the years, I've listened to this man speak so freely about my poor decisions, my life choices, and he spoke as if we had a conversation sitting down talking.
Now, please tell the good people out there what it is that made you go on his show to be blindsided by that question in the first place. What was it about your relationship that made you think he was a comrade in comedy?
It was the night of a Mike Tyson fight. So no one showed up. 10 people showed up to the show. It was no judgment because everybody understood when Mike Tyson fight, the world shuts down. So for whatever reason, DL had the date. They booked me on the show with them. I'm excited. We get there. It's 10 people. I say, hey, DL, so the night's not a total bust. Why don't you and your audience, because they came to see him, come on back to my home? We can watch the fight. I fix some food. Let's have a good time. So I invite this man back to my home. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my home is my sacred place. But his audience back.
What? What you say, Miss T? That is the worst reason for doing a stand-up I have ever heard. Oh my God, Miss T. You got happy days. He ain't right. Hey, Hickerson, how you doing? I had to laugh at that one.
So people wouldn't walk away disappointed that there was no show. So that's why I felt like from that moment to the moment I did his radio show and they tried to come with foolishness, I always thought D.L. Hughley and I were cool. Always. Never knew that he had so much to say.
And had Brother D.L., because regardless of the beef, that's still our brother.
Come on.
But had Brother D.L. simply said, I apologize that offended you, I apologize for catching you off, I could see how that could catch you off, because had my wife came on there and you said something like that to her in reference to me, that would have been insulting, because we are supposed to be protective of one another in that regard. But beyond that, because when Mo'Nique told me that that's what he said, I personally didn't take offense to him utilizing me. I took exception to him utilizing Brother Lee and Sister
Corinne.
Because what had they done to him? Again, when you are a senior in the community and you 59 years old and your history is you used to be in the gang, you dropped out of school, you got your GED, that right there is an incredible story of how somebody made mistakes, turned it around, came from nothing, and made something of themselves. Can't help see them when we talked about them. But that's what happens when you start with people that didn't start anything with you.
Go ahead.
No, baby, go ahead.
Oh, and I want to address something too, because I want y'all to watch how people like D.L. Hughley will throw smoke and mirrors to try to distract from what it really is. If you watch the video of what I said, if you watch that video, I didn't say anything insulting in reference to that man's family, nor his beautiful wife. What I said is I feel sorry for your family. I feel sorry for your wife. Now, the other part that I said, y'all know what it was, and I'm going to leave it on the stage.
But to be specific, without being specific, you essentially said, I feel sorry for your wife having to perform a sexual act on a coward. How do you perform a sexual act on a coward? There is nothing that was said about your wife.
Nothing.
Your family.
Nothing.
It was directed specifically to you.
So let me be clear again. For all the shade droppers, tea spillers, candy bar biters, Saturday night, D.L. Hughley was going to get his ass handed to him because through the years, I've heard this man have a lot to say about me. And what the type of person I am, if y'all don't know by now, I wasn't going on nobody's radio show talking about how I felt towards D.L. Hughley. I wasn't going on nowhere. I was going to make sure the night that I spoke about D.L. Hughley, I wanted D.L. Hughley to be there. Now, I want to address something else. And everything I'm saying, please find it out for yourself. I want to address something. When D.L. Hughley...
So when you say that, oh, Mo'Nique should have been professional, Mo'Nique didn't handle it well, her intentions was to read him down to the ground. She just said it. Her intention was to read him down to the ground. What's up, Darlene? What's up, everybody? How you doing? What's up, Tisha?
Says, and then she brought in Steve Harvey. See, let me tell y'all something. This ain't new. I watched D.L. Hughley and Steve Harvey sit on his show and lie.
DL show.
On DL show and lie. I watched Steve Harvey say to DL, we had to edit the show because Mo'Nique was saying some crazy stuff and we had to protect her. And then DL says, yeah, man, you was just trying to protect her. And then Steve says, yeah, man, well, let me ask this question. When did they get into the black woman protection business? So that's why I said Steve Harvey that night. So that night, DL, what you got back was the medicine that you've dished out to our community for so long through the years. And I want to address what you're trying to make the show out to be. Detroit, I want to say thank you for that amazing night because it was amazing. And when DL says the people left disheartened and disappointed and they were ashamed and embarrassed, well, let's address that because I think it's only fair. From my understanding, Josh Adams kicked butt. From my understanding, Sister Ava Rodriguez kicked butt. Now, I can speak for me because I was there. When I walked out on that stage in Detroit, those beautiful...
Thank you, darling. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. Like she said, she went there to go in, and she's gonna start talking about the other comedians, y'all. You know, Mo'Nique said that a coward dies 1,000 times. She's only going to die once. So therefore, she's going to speak and say her mind, baby. She's about to get in.
People, they gave me a standing ovation.
What happened when you walked off?
Those beautiful people gave me a standing ovation. Now, what has happened in that moment, and this is for the comics.
So, you know, D.L. Hughley said on his podcast that everybody left upset. They didn't want to hear, you know, what she had to say when it comes to contract disputes. But she said she already was going to cuss him out. She said the contract was icing on the cake. So, you know, this was intended. Unless it wasn't, and she's saying it is now.
Who have so much to say. Come on, sweet babies, because this is Comedy 101. When you are the headliner, You have to meet the challenge, regardless as to who goes in front of you and what is said. You have to meet the challenge. And what happened was when D.L. Hughley walked out on that stage, he could not meet the challenge. See, I've had to go up on stage after people have been booed. I got to go up on stage because I'm the headliner. I've had to go up on stage after people have talked ill about me in front of me. I still got to go up on that stage. And my job as the headliner is to make sure when that audience leaves, they leave feeling fulfilled. So because you could not step up to the challenge, D.L. Hughley, you have now made it appear as if the night was bad. And if y'all were paying attention, my babies,
But finish your thought.
Oh.
He made it appear as if the night was bad.
he made it appear as if the night was bad. Just your night was bad, DL. Just your moments were bad, DL. And I want to address something else, because if you want to try to make me look unprofessional, let me tell you how much I get down for the people. I could have not gone out on that stage. I could have not gone out on that stage.
And you know, D.L. Hughley said she tried to not go out on the stage and use that, but it didn't work. So therefore, he said, you know, there's different things comedians try to hold out and not go on stage and have people cave in, but nobody caved in. And you know, people are saying that DL did the same thing that he's accusing Mo'Nique of doing. Yo, they should have, but she wanted to work with him. She wanted to cuss him out. That was her intended goal.
Well, why did you?
Because I love the people. I don't take those people for granted. I don't take the people for granted that may have paid their last dollar to buy a ticket to a show that I am a part of.
About this human being sitting to the right. When she says it, she really means it. She had the privilege of being told by a gentleman y'all may have heard of, who said, never stop being who you are. Always be you, because you works. His name was Richard Pryor. And there's a gentleman by the name of Rudy Ely. That's the nephew of the legendary Paul Mo'Nique. He was there and can corroborate Paul Mo'Nique saying, you know they call you Mrs. Pryor. Why they call you that? Because you remind them of the female Richard Pryor. Now, when you hear other comedians talking trash about her, you got that from comedy royalty. The king, before there was a king of comedy. So that allows you to just keep moving forward and not take anything personally. But I say that to say, when you walk on that stage and you are a comedian, it is your job to be truthful to the audience. She doesn't work at the Quickie Mart. She's not a brain surgeon. Her behavior on stage is not unprofessional, because it's indicative of the latitude that a comedian is given. They are given a comedic license to speak in reference to their life. And guess what she did? She spoke about her life, because she would be doing the crowd a disservice to hold all that back and say nothing. And part of the reason why we're having the conversation out loud, because there are many of us who've been enslaved in our thinking to believe that everything that happens that's volatile, that could be construed as embarrassing, should be kept quietly. And what happens is, in self-defense, they teach women especially, if you are ever abducted in a parking lot.
Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Hey girl, it's Miss T, calling from New Orleans.
Hey, what's up? What's your thoughts on the situation with Mo'Nique and D.L. Hughley?
Did he just say that she was compared to Richard Pryor?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he told Richard Pryor told her that. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's witnesses that can confirm it. Okay?
And they just happen to be passed away too. You tried it. Okay. Mo'Nique has never been on the caliber of Richard. I don't see a Richard Pryor woman in her. Girl, You tried it. This whole thing is silly. So let me get this straight. So somebody gives you an opportunity because you have literally burned almost all your bridges. So someone gives you an opportunity and you plan to stab them in the back? Like that's the plan? Like this one, I'd rather just than spare the moment. You're telling me you already had this on your chest.
Yes. Hold on. Let me correct you. Mo'Nique said, ain't no way no D.L. Hughley can give her an opportunity because she was the headliner. Okay? She's going to say that in the video, but keep going, girl.
Girl, bye. His name was biggest cuss. All the posters I've seen is him. Biggest cuss. All this stuff, and I learned that that thing he put up was pretty much an outline, and it's pretty much what they're gonna go by unless you have some like issues. Clearly, you wanted to make this man look bad so bad that you just took whatever. Is that what we did? Or what you wanted to do was be the last one. So you wanted to light them up and like mic drop. That's what you wanted to do, right? I guess that's the only reason, since you had it on your mind that you was gonna be unprofessional anyway. I guess he took some of your thunder because you wanted to be last, but you don't deserve to be last. He's absolutely right. Either one of them, whether kings and queens, that was great, but that's so old. He's right. And just because you did Queens of Comedy doesn't make you the funniest woman on the planet. And I just don't understand, why did somebody apologize to literally piss off the same people? Didn't she just apologize on it? Lee Daniels and all of them?
Her and Lee Daniels made up. She talks about Lee Daniels, but she also comes and once the video, she is not over yet. She does come back for Tyler Perry, scoop his ass up. She scoop Oprah up. She scoop Steve Harvey up, and she scoop up the other guy that be wearing the wigs. I can't think of his name right now.
And see, that's my issue. If you had beef, so who you have beef with? Everybody? Even the people you just apologized to. So that was all just fugazi then. An apology without true change is just manipulation. So you're telling me you were just manipulating that situation to throw them under the bus. So which is it? You wanted to throw DL under the bus and then you just was on a roll, so you just added a few more people? Like, I'm so confused. Why would I apologize to literally make you mad again? To literally upset you? And then I have the nerve to get upset at how you react to me making you upset. Like, that's not fair. I'm entitled to be upset. When you make somebody mad, they're entitled to react whatever way they fit. So you fit. You can't. You've already pissed them off. You've already kicked it off. What she did was she talked too much, because he really did bring up the receipts that he brought up, made it look a little sketchy. Not to mention, this is your first stand-up in what? How long?
But she brought receipts too. That she, even though, you know, it came from her company, she explains it. And when it comes to the memo deal, exactly what you said, he got everything that he needs. So he don't really need a contract. If you tell the truth, he on his memo, it says that he's open, he's closing, he's going to be doing this certain time. Boom, bada bing. But she said, and that's what happened. So he don't have no dispute. He was the headliner. Only person that has a dispute in this situation will be Mo'Nique. But Mo'Nique is saying that she was the headliner. He got there. He showed his ass, but she was going to show her ass anyway because she got a problem with him talking about her for 13 years. So in any event, she said she wasn't unprofessional. She cussed him out, and he is crying victim. This is a part of being a comedy person and being a comedian, and that's why, you know, she favors Richard Pryor, girl.
Yeah, being a comedian means making jokes, but it doesn't mean bringing all of this legal stuff and contracts. That ain't funny. That ain't funny. That ain't a joke. We ain't laughing at that. Richard Pryor wouldn't have told a joke about another comedian and what the contracts were like. That's not funny. At least definitely not right now. Now, if you wanted to light him up, okay. But you bringing in the contract and his dog and asking his wife how it feel to be with a coward, but you're not talking to him. What are you doing? She's all over the place. She is all over the place, and she's digging her own grave. You would think that somebody who just got barely out of blackball status would be a little bit more gracious and grateful that anybody, even if we didn't, clearly y'all had issues, but before this show happened, you had to talk to him. You had to meet with him. You probably had to talk to him again. Like, you didn't just show up.
No, hold on. She did just show up. She didn't have to meet with him. She didn't have to talk to him. Her whole purpose was to tell him off because of what he said about her. But 1 second. What's up, LSW? What's up, Ralph? What's up, Norris, Tony? What's up, Hype? What's up at Debbie Lowe? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? So she is going to go in more about the situation, but she said she got a standing ovation, girl. She said D.L. Hughley wasn't up to par, and that's why it was a bad night.
I mean, she probably did get a standing ovation because she was up there being real messy and spinning. Yeah, that's funny. You might have been laughing. I don't know if they were laughing with you or at you. But nevertheless, they were laughing. Okay. And I guess DL probably could have shut it down, but I don't think that he came at her net. Now, if DL had come out and did all of this, because he just read her down. He just read her to the ground, like for real. He read her up and down and then flipped her over and read her again. So if he'd have done that at the comedy show, I guarantee you that if the people, they wouldn't have went home unhappy at all. But I don't think he stooped that low until later, right? So he came out and did his set like normal, right?
Because he got what he wanted.
Right.
That's what she said. But who knows? The promoter's not coming out. The promoter should just come out and say, hey, listen, Mo'Nique contract is fugazi. The promoter ain't came out and said her contract is fugazi. You know, we know DL contract, he has like a, what do you call it? A memo, agreement, a memo deal. And basically it's not binding, but with a memo deal, you can walk away from it and not be held legally binding, but only way it could be legally binding if one party loses something from this memo deal. So, but her contract, she said she typed it up because she's an artist and you tell the people what you want. And she said, you seen it, the signatures. So we still don't know. So that's not even a real big issue. The issue is she was going to cuss him out anyway. Okay.
Right. That's our main issue. She was going to cut you out anyway. But again, DL could have shut her down. He shut down the show. So he heard her go off before he got on stage, right?
Yep. Yes, he did.
Yeah. So he could have taken that moment.
He couldn't.
And read her down.
He couldn't. Hold on 1 second. Let's go back to this situation. Remember when Cat Williams read down Steve Harvey? Cat Williams went on stage and he cussed Steve Harvey out so bad. He talked about, this dude called me and said this and all this other stuff. He read him down. Steve Harvey went after, Cat Williams, and he didn't really address the situation. But at the end of the day, who won? I mean, not one, but who's in a better position? Steve Harvey or Cat Williams?
Steve Harvey.
Okay.
But Cat had a lot of other issues. Cat got his ass whooped by a little boy in there.
Why you go there?
He got his ass whooped by some 15-year-olds. So he lost some cool points right there. So clearly, when you get your ass whooped by some 15-year-olds, you've hit rock bottom. So yes, Steve did the right thing. Okay, he's professional, if anything, until he's not. He's got his own issues, but okay, that's fine. But it still doesn't give her the right to, just because they didn't see how that worked out. Okay, it's just like Will and Chris. Chris is going to come out the bigger person. The only person that's going to suffer from this is Mo'Nique, which is why it's so crazy. I just can't wrap my head around it. Like, I get it. You were out for revenge. But I would have saved that revenge for when I got, I don't know, a special or something. Like, I would have at least tried to get my foot back in the door before I started throwing more insults. Like, it's crazy to me. So you're really blackballed. Who's going to work with her now? Who?
I would.
Who's going to give her a chance?
I would.
Okay, so you don't count. So somebody who really can help her. Like, all I'm watching is somebody just burning their career. And about your husband, first of all, the answer is he's not gay. And we keep it moving. Like, it didn't even have to be all that. It's kind of disrespectful, but it's also something that you could work through, right? You could work through that. But clearly, she already had it on her chest, so that was just icing. But nobody's going to work with you now. Tell me who. Tell me who.
50 Cent is still working with her. 50 Cent is going to work with her. 50 Cent's going to work with her.
You're a career hazard. Exactly, because you're a career hazard. Exactly.
But if you wanted to get revenge on somebody, say somebody been talking ish about you, like she said, 13 years, doing interviews, talking about you and blah, blah, blah. And now you let it go. You don't say nothing about it. Now you're on the same panel. You addressed them there. And that's what she did. She addressed them there. And she ate them up. And she was, and I don't know. It might have been her set might have been prepared already. I don't think he was prepared to, eat her back up because he did it. You know what I mean? And so therefore, to me, like I said in previous videos, D.L. Hughley used to be very funny and stand up. He hasn't been funny since God knows when, since he had short dreads and he looked young and healthy. He hasn't been funny since then. But when he writes and he get on Instagram and he started killing you with them words, he's very funny on paper when he's writing it down, but not on top, not off top of the dome like that.
Right. He's not one of those. Right. Because David Chappelle would have came out there and yeah, he's not one of those on your feet type of guy. That's fine. I was never good at playing the dozens either. Because when I got home, I'd be like, damn, I should have said this. I should have said that. So some people need a moment to process. And he can read. But he said, you're a career hazard. I cannot. He was lighting her up.
When he said, yo, that, see, if her contract was legit, the way he can write on paper and he got time to think, not off top the dome, he responded to her contract and said, get out of here with that old birth certificate paper. Old birth certificate paper contract. That was like really funny. But what wasn't funny is when he said, you are like precious. It's funny at first. It's funny at first when it's online and everybody went viral with it and, saying things about it. But she really was precious. If you listen to her story, she's going to say it here. But I don't know. I don't know if this was the right move for Mo'Nique to cuss him out. No. Like, I believe what you just said, as far as when her comedy special comes out, she should have read all of them down. Because she basically just gave free material, and then this material backfired. It's like, oh, you said that to his face. That's so horrible. And then she gave D.L. Hughley so much content that he's been going viral for like 3 days straight. She's been going viral too, but not as viral as he is. When you go to what he posted to his Instagram and what she posted, he's getting more views off of it. But I don't know if he's getting more views because people hate Mo'Nique.
And because Mo'Nique has no following, she did herself. She did. He's absolutely right. She's the common denominator in all of this. And I see how he feels. You could hear in his voice, he was kind of hurt. Like, I was really told not to fuck with you. And I did it anyway. And look what happened.
And she said that that's not true. He begged her. But hold on, Miss T. Stay on the phone. I'm going to hit play. And then I'm going to stop and then we'll talk, all right?
All right.
Okay.
You must scream and yell because out into the public end so they can take accountability for what it is that they've done. And that's what she did that night.
And please, my babies, do your own homework. Pull it up for yourself. And then ask yourself, how many times am I going to get poked? How many times is people going to just start messing with people that's not messing with them? So again, what happened Saturday night? I'm going to say it again. D.L. Hughley was going to get his ass handed to him. Because once y'all go back all through the interviews, I'm going to be shocked. I will be shocked if y'all say, Mo, I'm surprised you didn't get this brother, a lot sooner because it went on for years.
And when Brother DL says Mo'Nique does what a lot of women do, and that's weaponized feminism. No, what a lot of women do is they get mistreated because they're feminine, because they happen to be women. So when a woman...
See what we buy into? I'm not equipped to think like a man. I'm not equipped to think like a man.
And why does a woman have to think like a man?
Okay, hold on. I can just pause real quick. That was a shot at Steve Harvey. All right, we'll say that again. Say that again. They didn't hear you.
Is he mansplaining? Like he's in here informing us. He's mansplaining, like explaining information. I got it when she said it. I didn't need you to say it again. Like he's bringing nothing to this. Isn't he her manager?
He's a manager and her husband, baby, and her daddy.
Sidebar: that daddy thing never made sense to me. It kind of feels like I already have a daddy, so wouldn't that be / incest? Like, why would I call you that? Okay, go ahead.
He said he calls her mama, okay?
In order to be accepted. And then when a woman thinks like a man and dealt with DL head on, now it's a problem again.
But I gotta go back to this, Daddy.
Go back to it.
I can't believe DL Hughley. I can't believe Daryl named you a tender. Now that has nothing to do with your sexuality. It has everything to do with your heart. I can't believe you that tender. I can't believe. Oh, and she was. What is the word he uses? Because he's using one of those words.
It was vile.
Oh yes, I can't. You, brother, you are in your feelings. I cannot believe that, DL. And that for the comedians, pay attention, baby. Pay attention. See, when you run your mouth about other people and you don't know who you're running up into, and then you get to running into a brick wall, and then you want to play victim and fall out and act like you've been damaged. Come on. Like I said, I feel sorry for your family, brother.
If I may.
Yes, you may.
Change in another direction.
Change it.
What we believe in is trying to put forth the facts because we love our people.
Yes.
And what a lot of individuals don't know is the people that he spoke about Mo'Nique having a problem with, he said they all are the same. And they're right. They all were people who stepped to her and she stepped back. Now that's the problem. If you notice throughout the years, what are the details associated with what makes Mo'Nique difficult? See, when they speak in generalities, it allows you to come up with your conclusion about how she was difficult, but they never go into the specifics. See, the specifics would be Mo'Nique has a problem with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Oprah Winfrey for multiple reasons. Besides the fact that as a black woman who privately said, and here's that word again, privately communicated to Mo'Nique and I that her position for not campaigning for an award was right and it was fair because everything she did was up on the screen. In addition to the fact that she had no contractual obligation to do anything for Lionsgate. When you have Tyler Perry, who privately admits the same thing, but also says, anything they ask me to do is what I'll do. When you have a billionaire who says, anything they ask me to do, I'll do, what begins to happen is they'll use his actions of compliance to put down everybody else. So Mo'Nique was supposed to do something for people that she owed nothing. Now, if you think that she was wrong for that, this is what I would suggest you do. And he is yet to make it right, but nobody is saying anything to him because he's Tyler Perry. There's a quote that goes, some people are fearful to face the ridicule. We rather face the ridicule associated with doing what's right than face the personal ridicule that we would impose upon ourselves for standing there and letting wrong happen and say nothing.
Now I want to address the contract.
Okay, you got anything to say about that, Miss T?
No.
Okay, we're gonna keep going, but
Keep going.
hey, what's up, Sonia Butler? How you doing, Ralph? Ralph says, I'm still trying to follow this. So why is DL and Mo'Nique at each other? Mo'Nique said that DL was talking about her for 13 years. He was going on shows, disrespecting her, and things of that nature. He went on Vlad TV. He went on Steve Harvey. He was on his podcast, and he was saying that she was mentally ill, that she had that she has a problem. And so she said that she was going to wait until, you know, she get him one-on-one and confront him, but not face-to-face like that, but in her stand-up. But she also says this problem goes all the way back when D.L. Hughley asked her, you know, to do an interview on one of his shows or podcasts, and then one of his co-hosts, when D.L. Hughley wasn't there, asked her, would she rather have her husband have intercourse with Lee Daniels with a condom or have sex with Corinne Stephan without a condom? And she said she called him. She tried to tell him, like, hey, this is inappropriate, don't air it, and it didn't air. So he never responded to her. And she felt like, okay, he's not my friend. Then he called her allegedly and asked her to be on one of his TV shows when he was on TV. And she refused to, and she told them why is because of what his co-host did, and she didn't feel comfortable with him. But ultimately, they were both hired in Detroit. Mo'Nique said that she was the headliner. D.L. Hughley said he was the headliner. They both showed contracts. D.L. Hughley showed a deal memo, which is an agreement for both parties, you know, to get ready to do the contract. But in his deal memo, he didn't really have to sign the contract because they met all his needs. You know, he was headliner, blah, blah, blah. And Mo'Nique showed her contract and said that she was headliner, and hers was March 28th, and DL memo deal was March 29th. So she's saying that she was booked as the headliner. Then when he showed up, he basically said he wasn't going to go on if he wasn't the headliner. Then Mo'Nique was upset about that anyway. And then she was already saying that her set that she was going to perform that night, she was going to cuss him out. So it's the battle of who was the headliner. And then Mo'Nique was seeking revenge on D.L. Hughley for the things that he said about her for 13 years, and she kept quiet. And now D.L. Hughley is responding that this is why you have problems. And now she's explaining it's not that, you know. So that's the situation, Ralph.
Lord, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
In this 15 years, you telling me she never made a post, she never made a subliminal, she didn't say nothing?
That's what she said. I don't know if she did. I don't know if she did. I don't know if she did, but she said she didn't. I can't tell you, Miss T. I can't tell you if she did. She said she never did. She said you can go scrape the internet. You will find that she never said anything about him. She just was, you know, marinating on it. But here we go.
Waited till she got on stage for 15 years.
13 years. 13 years.
Oh, I have another question. Is she what besides this gig does she have like going on? She got a lot of stuff going on.
I have no idea. I didn't even know this gig. I didn't even know this gig was going on. Okay, so I don't know.
Exactly. So how can you be the headliner when you're not doing anything? Like DL has a show. He's booked and busy, right? So I'm confused on how she thought that she would be the headliner.
But do you think that this
did he ask her to be in the show? DL asked her to be in the show, right?
I don't think so. He didn't ask her to do. He didn't ask her to be in the show. What happened is New Day, a company that does comedy tours or does shows, basically wanted to do a comedy show, and they wanted Mo'Nique and they wanted, D.L. Hughley, and allegedly they reached out to both of them, and allegedly they both say that they were headliners. DL said he was a headliner. Mo'Nique said she was a headliner. So they never spoke. They never talked to each other. They never met up. They never did anything. When they were in that building together in Detroit, this was the first time in years that they was in the same building together. And, Mo'Nique is going to explain that she thought that DL Hughley was a friend. But she did reach out to DL Hughley to tell him that twice she reached out to him. She says that when she went to go interview with one of his co-hosts and she didn't like that the question was inappropriate, she reached out to him and he didn't respond. He just basically said, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And then when she said his people reached out to her to be on one of his TV shows, to do a debut or whatever, she said no, she declined because of what happened back in the past, and he never apologized for it. Then she said he's been out here running like a muck, talking about her, and she never said anything. She was going to wait until they're in the same building at the same time doing, where she can confront him, and she confronted him on stage.
Actually, she didn't confront him. She just told her story on stage. Confronting him would have been having a conversation backstage and let him hear how you feel. Or having a conversation and then coming out there and still doing it. That's telling them something. You told the audience. That's what my problem is. If I come to see a show, yeah, I'm okay, that's mess. We all like to hear some mess. But at the same time, that wasn't our mess to hear. And you should have stuck to whatever. Like I said, if you had somebody was going to give you a special, they're not probably now. But if they were, that's when you should have addressed all these people. Even the people you just apologized to. Right? Like, I don't understand why you would literally put your foot back in your mouth if you want to be in this so bad. I think I want her to have a career more than she does at this point.
But when it comes to the headliner situation, that was just the icing on the cake, because she was going to cuss him out anyway. But she said the way that he acted and, him basically refusing to go on stage, she said she could have refused to go on stage, but it just gave her even momentum to tell him off. And I don't think she's worried about, her career. And I believe she has an opportunity with 50 Cent. Believe that she's going to be on BMX.
Oh, yeah, she's going to be on DMX. She's going to win the AMTs or something. That's what she do. Yeah, go stick to acting, girl. Go stick to acting.
So here we go.
Comedy.
And a deal memo.
May I help you with that? I'm
yes,
sorry,
Daddy. Yes.
Please forgive me.
Go on, take your time.
So, as not to freestyle, I pulled up the difference between the two. This will give you it in a nutshell. A memorandum of understanding, or the deal memo that D.L. Hughley presented to the people. It says, a memorandum of understanding is a document used to articulate an agreement between two or more parties. The document is likely to detail the scope of the agreement, the length of the agreement, and the state how the agreement can be terminated. A memorandum of understanding is often used before parties are ready to make a formal, let me repeat that, and to outline expectations and responsibilities before a full agreement has been reached. Unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. As a result, parties can typically avoid the agreement with no legal consequences. Let me repeat that, and I'm going to break it down in layman's terms. When they say unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding, which is what DL provided the community with.
Yes.
Is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. By legally binding, that means that if you were to try to sue for what was not on a memorandum of understanding, there are no signatures. It is not legally binding. And the agreement, because he made the statement, oh, that came from his company. Well, the MOU came from UTA, which, as it says here, unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. As a result, parties can typically avoid the agreement with no legal consequences. However, that brings you to what Mo'Nique presented you with, which was a legal binding agreement. See, one of the key differences between a memorandum of understanding and a legal contract is enforceability. That means the key difference between a contract and a memorandum of understanding is enforceability. Contracts are created when two or more parties intend to create a legally enforceable agreement. Parties into contracts after an offer has been accepted with considerations. Parties to contracts are legally obligated to comply with the terms and conditions of the agreement. I'll repeat, will face legal consequences. So, what does that mean? The documentation, hence the performance agreement that Mo'Nique provided you with, is a legally binding contract, which is the reason why, if you looked at the bottom of the contract, you saw initials on both sides, one from the promoter, one from our side. When he said this came from their company, it did, because the artist must have a standard contract she provides as a courtesy to the promoter, because they won't know what it is that they need in order to utilize her services for hire. And generalities allow things to be hidden, such as the truth.
You know how you keep watching our stories over and over and over again, and the only thing that changes are the faces because the stories remain the same? And if you want our babies to believe that a deal memo is anything close to a contract, what are you feeding us, DL? You know that's a deal memo. You can put anything you want to put in the deal memo. That's what you would like. And D.L. Hughley has yet to still show his signed contract. And this is something else that I want to address to us. When I see the comedians having these conversations, it makes my heart hurt for y'all, because it's making me understand how they are able to exploit, take advantage, use, misuse. I understand how it's able to be done, because when y'all start standing up and you're fighting against a sister that's saying, you gotta treat us fairly. You're fighting against a sister that's saying, I earned that position as headliner. Didn't nobody give it to me? I earned that position. You got a sister that's saying, listen, I'm, as D.L. Hughley would say, oh, she just selfish and thinking about herself. Anybody that's selfish, D.L. Hughley, would not take a 13-year hit in their career. See, if I was selfish, I would have taken the $500,000 that Tyler Perry tried to offer.
To be quiet about it.
To be quiet and make it go away. If I was selfish, D.L. Hughley, I would have had the conversation privately. See, I know the moment I say it out loud, I know the ridicule is coming. I know it's coming full force, but you know what? I don't care.
And when they say, the problem that is had with Mo'Nique, as with many black women, y'all not supposed to stand up for yourself. You're not supposed to stand up for yourself. If Tyler Perry says anything they ask me to do is what I do and he's a billionaire, well, who are you to stand up for yourself? See, we know we crazy. We crazy because everything that we're communicating goes, it is counted. People out here, but they don't have inner peace. Everybody's mama, when they set out for Hollywood, say, don't forget us when you make it. I'm sorry, don't forget where you come from. That's what they say. Don't forget where you come from. Well, we come from a little place called Baltimore, Maryland.
No place.
Little place called Baltimore, Maryland. But it's no different from Detroit. We are not going to talk to you in generalities. You can't ask us, do we have anything up our sleeve, because we came here wearing tank tops. Okay? We want to be transparent with you. I'm sitting next to a black woman who you want to call selfish, but y'all forget when he brought up Lee Daniels. See, Lee Daniels has a support team that tapped into that man's conscience, that made him say, let me go up on stage and give this woman an apology. I want my friend back, because I know, and if y'all listen to what he said afterwards, it's very important. He said, I got caught up essentially in the hoopla until I realized what was important. And it took an individual who had enough nuts, literally and figuratively, from the trans community named T.S. Madison, to have a real conversation with him. It took his family, his sisters, his people, black women.
Lee Daniels had a conversation with T.S. Madison and the support system, basically changing his heart and apologizing to Mo'Nique. What's up, Major? What's up? This is crazy.
To own what it is that you've done. And this black woman right here, because people have called her selfish. Y'all wasn't there on the set when it was a white gentleman refusing to give Lee Daniels the light he was supposed to get. And he said, I'm not going to give Lee the light that he wants. And Mo'Nique pulled his card right there and brought Lee over and said, this man is messing with your life. Y'all wasn't there on the set of Almost Christmas when Will Packer was given direction over a black man named David Talbot, who wrote and directed Almost Christmas. And she said, hey, don't disrespect this, what?
Black man.
By giving directions as a producer over the director. If you don't believe us, ask the question. See, y'all weren't there when Mo'Nique was on the Parkers. And she said to the individual, because this is what makes her a problem. I need y'all to know she can be difficult. This is what makes her a problem. The individuals that you call extras, she calls background professionals. She had a problem that they were sitting around all day and water and lemonade was what they were given. And she said, why won't y'all give them some of the hot food that we eat? Because we ordering out and y'all ain't even eating. See, that is a problem. But who is it a problem for? Is it a problem for the people who are sitting there all day with lemon and water if they get hot food? Because they were there before
we get there.
Okay, and there
after.
Or is it a problem for the powers that be? And you got to ask yourself, who is she having these challenges with? Is it the powers that be, or is it the people in the support positions trying to uplift the show? And it's the powers that be. Now, if Mo'Nique never would have been blackballed for 13 years because they would have said, we can't ask that sister to do anything for us for free when we don't have a contract for her to do anything with us.
Thank you, baby, because I want to address something.
Kick it.
And I want you black women to hear what this black man is saying. I gave Mo'Nique a chance. D.L. Hughley said he gave me a chance. Well, here will be the question. To do what? What did you give me a chance to do? You weren't the promoter. No monies came from you. Who are you that you would...
Okay, so that's where she goes when he said, I gave her a chance. So I believe when he says that he was going to sign on to the show that they was going to do in Detroit. And so she's basically saying, how did you give me a chance? You didn't put no money in my pocket and you ain't the promoter.
And why am I having an issue with you? Just because I didn't go on first? But that's not even up to you, right? I mean, at the end of the day, they decided, whoever this company is, they decided that you were the headliners. So my issue with the headline part and all of that contract, blah, 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 should be with them. But I chose to accept whatever the contract said. I chose to accept it. I also chose to accept going on whatever I was going on because it didn't matter because I already had an ulterior motive. So all of this is just word salad. And you need to fire your husbander. Yeah, he needs to just be a husband because right now he's not helping the situation whatsoever.
But I don't understand how this is good for her career. Cussing D.L. Hughley out and cussing him out. How is that good? Like, it was good. Like, when I seen it, that was on point. When she read him down to the ground, it was like, OMG, like, she is doing it. Like, it's just like your auntie cussing out, somebody in the backyard, baby. But it was real read. She got ugly with it. It was entertaining.
Do you have that? Can you play that? You have that?
I do have that, but I do have that one, but I could play it. I just got to go get to it. But she cussed him down like that because it's already 2 hours in, so the cussing and swearing is gonna be different.
Well, I mean, and he retaliated with a vengeance after he.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I know personally she wanted to get back at D.L. Hughley from what she is saying that he did to her, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is,
well, I hope it was worth it.
Was it worth it? To her and her husband, they're both saying that it's worth it because a coward dies 1,000 times and she's only going to die once. Mm-hmm. So therefore, she's not bowing down to anybody, point blank, period. And she's calling out Tyler Perry as well by saying that the reason why Tyler Perry didn't say anything is because of the businesses of the production company, like Lionsgate, Walt Disney, and things, and Fox and things of that nature. So she's ready. So I don't know if I don't think he was worth it right now. I think she should have just waited. But we shall see.
We shall see nothing. We shall see her in DMX. I mean, in BMX.
What?
Yes, DMX. That's what we'll see. She literally has just ruined herself again. Not only did she stab somebody for whatever reason, okay, you got a grudge. I don't know what's up with these celebrities holding these grudges for like years and then they just explode. Her and Will just say, okay. But you should have at least gotten your foot in the door. Like, this was literally the first thing that you were thrown a bone. That people were actually going to maybe pay attention and be like, oh, okay, Monique. And then he would have campaigned for you. Like, look, y'all, she really has changed. She's good. Like, we should take her more into the fold. No, what do? You shit on the whole thing. And you go after people that I could have sworn you just apologized and made up with. How does that make any sense? Who wants to work with you now? Of course not. Your word is not. What is your word? We just had a whole conversation. I thought we were cool. And the minute you get a chance, you throw everybody under the bus.
I think in my opinion, she should have waited, like you said, and got her own stand-up show. Got her own tour, her own stand-up where people go and watch it, and then read everybody down and then explain the story like Dave Chappelle does. Like he explains, oh, this is what happened. Right. This is why I don't like contracts. Because Dave Chappelle actually was saying about his contracts, how he doesn't own anything to the Dave Chappelle show, his name, the way he explained it. I think she should have had that and then went in at everybody that did her in. Right. And then
that's why I feel it came from top of the dome. I really feel she could say she had anger for him, but you can't. I think she just was on a tangent with adding on all the other people.
But on social media, people like this type of stuff, but they don't like this type of stuff from Mo'Nique. That's the thing. You got Blueface out here getting his mama.
Just tired of it from Mo'Nique. Didn't she just yell at people for wearing bonnets? Girl, bye. Like, I'm just tired of it for me. And I want more for you. You really are funny. You were good in your day. You were good. I'd like to see you maybe get a stand-up. I'd like to see you evolve and get out of this blackball situation. But it seems to me that you are an agent of chaos, because it just, everywhere you go, it's always an issue, and nothing moves smooth. And you're the common denominator in all of it. So I hope it was worth it. I guess it was. I mean, I don't think a whole bunch of people are going to be banging down her door to do much. She should have waited. She should have gotten hot on the show. And then she should have put out, oh, Monique's coming back to her. She should have done something like Chris Rock. Like, you need to pay me for my pain.
Because now it's her word against his word. We got the promoter that probably played both of them, but now he's coming out and he's looking like he's victorious in the situation because he didn't stoop that low. And then on top of that, it's looking like she came after him. Now she's saying that, oh, I planned on cussing him out. That's
even worse.
Yes, it would have been even better if she would have said, I thought she cussed him out because when she was supposed to be the headliner, he came down, he said, I'm going to be the damn headliner. And she said he refused to go on stage. So, okay, he refused to go on stage. So that's why I cussed him out. You know, that right there be like, you know, it just came out the heart. It just came out that, you know, everything that I've been through with this man and what he did for all these years would have been, that's why it came out. But she's telling us now in this video that she intend on handing his ass to him, and I don't think that was the right move at that point. I think she should have just waited a little bit longer.
Who does that?
Because how is D.L winning in this? She's counter.
Right.
She's elevating his career. You know the numbers that he's doing
he's
now.
Not gonna lose. Right.
He's never did these numbers. He's never did these numbers in a long time.
He's talked about now. You are going to lose in this situation. In this situation, yeah, you're not gonna make it back. It's unfortunate. Well,
you know, and all this explaining is bullshit.
It's not being recorded.
What she should have done is cussed him out in this video instead of explaining shit. Continue. Right. They already think I'm crazy. They think I'm angry. Right. I am angry, mother effer. You done sit there and lie. And I'm cussing you out because you.
At this point.
Yeah, she should have. And then this would have went viral. This is not going to go viral.
Right. This is.
He's going viral. He's going viral with his rebuttal after them going back and forth. So we'll see if this goes viral. But if any events trying to sit there and explain what a contract is, what a dim memo is,
don't mansplain me. Don't mansplain
and then black woman this and all that other stuff. Speaking of,
that's another thing. Yeah, don't weaponize me. Don't use me now. Now we black queens. Well, this black queen got a bonnet on. So now what are we gonna do? So like, don't put me in some stuff now that you're angry. Now it's this black king, black and he's black. Okay, like that's irrelevant. Don't do that. That makes it even worse. But you planned on doing it. Like, that's the craziest part about it. You planned it.
I don't even know if she planned it. That's the crazy thing. So you're gonna tell me that she got this deal with New Deal to do this show, and somebody talked her into, and then it's so sad because D.L said in one of his Instagram posts, somebody got you gassed up with octane. Like, damn.
Sure do. And trust and believe the industry is small. The right message, wrong messenger. Some of the stuff you're saying is dead on.
It is.
But you're not
but
the right
this ain't the time to explain all situations. I know she's explaining.
You can't do it.
I know she's explaining all these situations because he said you got beef with this one, you got beef with that one, you got beef with this, blah blah blah. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, blah blah the third.
Right.
And she should have just said she's addressing that. But it should have been in a comedy form. This is almost like, oh my God, this is like, save me. Right. This is like, oh my God, I did something wrong. You didn't do nothing wrong, but the way that D.L responds, like he can't do on stage because he ain't funny like that, but responding in his environment, and getting paid to respond.
But he lit you up.
Yes.
What?
And so now he got paid from the damn show, YouTube page getting paid, Instagram page getting paid, and also getting paid from the podcast people. So now he's winning. So now he can say anything because say anything because you came at him first. Right. So now he's the victim and he can use your whole past against you like they use in a court of law.
Yeah, he's winning.
Okay, let's keep going. But what Mo'Nique and her husband is saying is true. So it should have been a clap back, just her clap backing without all this extra stuff. Just her directing everything that he said. Boom, boom, boom.
Say exactly.
Not and then
it just be you.
Yes.
Why your husband even? Okay, he could have been there for the little gay part or whatever. That's fine, even though that's not even that serious. But it should have just been you. You should have said what you had to say. You probably should have written some notes instead of going off the dome, because clearly when you do that, it doesn't work out for you well either, okay? So you should have probably thought about this for a second and then said what you had to say. Get yourself prepared. He doesn't need to be in it. He's making it worse. 10-1, it might have been his fault. The way the contract's written, so he's your contract man, right? So y'all, that's why this makes no sense.
But see,
he's literally your manager.
So, and so this is what DL's responding back. But I'm just saying it could have been in a different way that she could have got this off. He did 7 minutes. She should have did 7 minutes about responding to why she did it and gave you a food for thought real quick, read, funny, and then boom. And then she should have sat down and did this long interview, and that would have been easier because a lot of people are not going to hear it because they're just not. But I don't.
He had sat down and he got to hit all his points.
But this is just something that is a stain for her. But for her, she don't believe it's a stain. For her, it's vindication. For her, it's just like when you see somebody that robbed you and stole from you, and you finally catch up to them, and it's just like, oh, it's just me and you, baby. That's how it was. But it's not it's just not me and you. It's the whole world looking to see what Mo'Nique is gonna do next.
Okay, yeah, and Mo'Nique caught up with this person who's been talking. Okay, and we fight and we beat. But guess what? Now they're going to the hospital, and you're going to jail. So. Again, you still don't win. It's a lose either way. She definitely shouldn't have done it right now, if at all. If you waited 15 years, you held this down for 15 years, girl. You couldn't wait another couple of months, a year.
The sad thing is, DL could be lying. Everything he say could be a lie. But now that she attacked him first, where did that come from? Now she's explaining to us, I interviewed with him, years ago, and his co-host said some inappropriate things to me. But then you say he did not air it. So then he heard you, even though when you talked to him, he disrespected you and said, that's how we do, but he didn't air it. So that means that he heard you.
So that right there, exactly. He heard you, and he did what you asked. You're welcome. And didn't say anything about it. We know all of this stuff because of you. We're finding out all this information because you keep talking. He could have been said something. And he came with more receipts. So you don't have very good receipts. He came with receipts, which were the ticket. These things literally make it make sense. The memo, fine. I guess whatever. That could have been whatever. But when you look at the ticket, he's the biggest. It's his name. So is that his fault? When you look at the posters, all the promotions, it's his face, huge as cup, and her and the other people are, scattered. So is that his fault too? Those things to me say that yes, he clearly was the headliner. Whether you believed it, thought it, whatever, he clearly was to somebody. Because somebody had to make those choices, and they made them, and that's what they put out.
And the sad thing is, what if she really was the headliner? And and her contract is legit. Right now, he could just sit there and play. And Hollywood is gonna play with him because now she's saying all these names. She's bringing back Oprah. So now they're gonna even blackball her even more. As far as Mo'Nique got fans, but the problem is now they're gonna make this is her new victim, and this is what's happening.
Right. We're just seeing the same pattern, right? It's like when you cry wolf.
And it's probably
So,
not
like,
that.
when it really
DL's
happened,
probably wrong as hell. DL probably came up in there drunker than a
right?
motherfucker. He
That's what
came
I'm
in there
saying.
drunk and said,
Fair.
oh, this B word ain't gonna be running no show.
Right.
I ain't gonna perform.
Right.
And Mo'Nique probably said, you know what? I'm gonna
Right.
let you have this, brother, but I'm gonna read you. But at the
Okay.
same time doing that, now everything that
I'm
people
gonna
have said
sacrifice
about
my
her is being used against her, and she's trying to fight against it by giving them facts when she should fight it just as dirty as he is if he's lying.
Exactly. And again, right message, wrong messenger. We already know you to be in some scandals, right? So of course you're going to have to do more to prove your point, because you already coming out the gate with a deficiency. You got to really, like, where you coming from? Yeah, you got to catch up. Like, DL doesn't have a history of this, right? So he's always going to be a little bit further ahead of you, because we already know your history. So it's easy for us to believe that he's telling the truth just because of your past, and then because of how you move smart.
And
like
she's
Chris
funny
Rock.
than
If you
him.
gonna do this,
She's funny than him. She could have threw a little bit of jokes towards him, you know, cracked it.
right.
She could have
Some
just threw
shade.
light shade and laughed at like, oh my
Light
goodness,
shade,
D.L.
kept it
Hughley is here. Y'all ain't gonna talk about D.L. Hughley tonight, even though we don't know if that's him, because that looked like his grandfather sitting up here. You know, she could have threw some stuff at him and then went on and talked about current topics, and then boom, bada bing, then the show would have been successful. The show, she said it was successful, but the point is now they're going to use this against her, even if she's right, but she feels that she's not butt kissing, bootlegging, and she's not going to bow down.
She could be right, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. You could be absolutely, she could be 100% right, but this is the wrong way to do it. So there we go. So she could be absolutely right. She could be telling us the whole truth, nothing but the truth. But this is not the way that you do that and get people's attention.
And the sad thing is, this is the way you do. The way that she read him down is okay to do that, but you got to think about where you at, who you are, and how this is going to be taking place. And that's the only thing, is because now she has a bunch of people that don't want to mess with her, and people that's going to say, look at her with her daddy, and look at this, look, she's the same person. But at the same time, if somebody else would have read down, everybody would be laughing. But since it's Mo'Nique, it's like, this is the worst thing in the world.
But what's the first rule of comedy? The first rule of comedy, you gotta leave it on stage, and you gotta have tough skin. You're a comedian. You talking about him having tough skin? You don't have tough skin either. If you're a comedian, you should turn, like you said, Dave Chappelle would have turned this into a whole joke. He would have told the story, and it would have been funny, and he would have done a light shade and got it across. Because as a comedian, that's what you gotta do. You gotta have thick skin if you want to talk about people. So you gotta have thick skin. But she came out there with anger, and that's why we received it like that. Because that's how she gave it.
But listen, let me tell you, when I seen her roast him, I was falling on the floor. It was like shit. It was like, where's my popcorn at? Oh, girl. But then
that's why I wish you would play it, because I sure haven't seen it.
But it turned around to be used against her, and he eloquent switched it around and said, look, I knew I shouldn't have worked with you, and people told me, and she said, boy, I never tried to work with, so all that shit could be a lie.
It could, but it's Mo'Nique, so again, wrong message. And you just got here. It sounds like she's been doing stuff, and she's back in the groove, and she done did a couple shows, and we talking about her, and she's great on the TV show, and we're all like, wow, she's really come around. No, you just got here. Like, here you go again. It's like that one friend at the party who just always does the most. You just want just one time to not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing
it's just like when you see that person that you've been trying to get to, baby, and she went in, she wasn't thinking about, he was gone. She probably didn't expect, allegedly, for him to come back with all lies, but that's something that she should have expected being in Hollywood and knowing these people. If he came back with all lies and used that to turn it against her, even people that wasn't against her turned against her. And then she, like you guys said in the comments, that, you know, she probably gained a whole lot of fans because she was reading down. She was reading down like you want somebody to read down. But to everybody else, it came out of nowhere. Now you got to explain afterwards. And now he done spin that shit to like, you done did this to me. So let's check this out. She's going to finish up.
Be giving me a chance. The arrogance that you could speak like that I gave her a chance to do what, DL? And then if you're going to tell it, please don't mislead people. DL and I were scheduled to do another show together. I want us to address it, and I want y'all to do your homework. If you remember the Super Bowl show that happened in LA, there was a time that D.L. Hughley was on that show. And then there was a time that he just wasn't.
But you were the what on that show?
Headliner. I was the headliner on that show. All these other times that he speaks about, it never came across our desk. So stop trying to pose a wall over the community's eyes. And what I would ask of the community, what I would beg of us, stop being so quick to jump on the bus whichever way it goes down the street. Be brave enough to listen. Sorry for your wife. Listen to what I said. Listen to what I said when that man said, would your husband, or that woman said, would your husband rather sleep with these people? Ricky Smiley, would you be offended if someone said that about your loved ones? How about you, Roland Martin? Would you be offended if someone asked you that about your wife? How about you, Kim Whitley?
And he was also speaking in reference to wanting to give Mo'Nique a chance, and his people had warned him against it, as if he had some sort of prophecy seeing into the future ability. Let's clarify why he felt that way.
Why did he feel that way?
See, there was a show that he was doing on TV One called the D.L. Hughley Show.
Yes.
They reached out to me to ask if Mo'Nique would come on the show. I informed them, per her statement to me, that she would not be coming on the show.
Come on. Okay. Thank you. Okay. You got it, sweetness? Okay.
They then came back and asked, why? I said to Mo'Nique, would you like me to tell them? She said, please do. I expressed to them, Mo'Nique did not feel comfortable going on the show with an individual or supporting a man that she thought was a friend that would blindside her with the question that was ultimately putting our people down. So it was at that moment that DL knew there was a problem between Mo'Nique, but if you notice, he never made mention about that.
Why not?
See, we get into the
people like D.L. Hughley. And he says, and calling him daddy, that's so weird. And I listen to the people like the Breakfast Club. This daddy thing, that's so weird. And I listen to some other people. Isn't it weird that they got us thinking love is weird to each other?
In addition to, they failed to mention that I referred to her as
mama. So we have bought into people having enough reverence and honor and respect to call each other mama and daddy, and they've made our community believe that that is weird.
Together, utilize your mate, because the system, the business, the world is designed to divide us. Out of the individuals that you've seen talking about the poor treatment that women get in this industry, how come you never see their management with them?
How come?
And the reason is, it is not in the best interest of management to speak to the bias that is attached to their black artists. And the reason being, they are beholden to the studios. Because as Mo'Nique was told by a former manager of a larger agency, and I witnessed it. He said, it is in our best interest to be on the side of the studios. Why? Because artists come and go, but the studios still stay.
Facts.
And when y'all are saying, Mo'Nique, call D.L., I have no reason to call D.L. Hughley. If D.L. Hughley would like to talk to me and my husband, there's an open invitation. We would love to come on the show. But see, I didn't open up the door to this. D.L. Hughley opened up the door. Now you want to run and hide and close it, and now you want to talk and act as if you have been victimized. That's where the shame should come in. That's where the shame and the embarrassment should come in. See, there's no interviews y'all can find of me speaking about D.L. Hughley. There's not one interview in the history of interviews that you will find me speaking ill about D.L. Hughley. Not one, but there are several out there of him speaking of me.
And others.
And you're right, Daddy, because it ain't personal. And others. You run your mouth. And now I would like to address the dog and your dad, because I always want to make sure I'm playing folks fairly. See, really read what was written in reference to you having a support dog. Really read it, my sweet babies. Don't let a person like D.L. Hughley cloud your head on what he wants you to know. The words are there. The words are, a person that would need a support dog is a person that should never speak ill about anybody because they have their own concerns and issues that they're dealing with. Now, when you speak about your children and your family gave you that dog because you were really close with your dad and the love that y'all have and you want to keep him with you all the time, I respect that. And I hope that your dad told you, son, don't mess with people that's not messing with you because you're going to get your ass handed to you. I hope your dad shared that with you, so as you're walking the dog full of love in reference to your dad that is respected, I hope you take the principles and the morals and the values. Now, you treated Mo'Nique like you wanted to be treated. You talk shit to that baby for years, and then Saturday night, you got tender. How does that make sense for all the comedians that's watching? What are we teaching them, D.L.? Are we teaching them it's okay to act that way? For the older veteran comedians that got involved into this conversation right here and y'all started speaking foolishly, what are we telling the babies coming behind us? See, that's important to me. I know for some of y'all, it ain't important to y'all. You got yours, they got theirs to get. It's important to me what they see. It's important to me that they did see that contract. I'm glad you showed that contract. Sweet babies, if you are your own business, you should have your own contract. I don't know what kind of business DL does. That's somebody that can really educate you on what that stage is, not someone that want to host and take female comedians around and get paid off of their craft. See, I don't mess with anybody, y'all.
And a lot of individuals that have had a lot to say have been individuals that have confided in Mo'Nique. They were friends.
Through the years.
Like Sister.
It's like Sister Vivica, like Sister Kim Whitley, like through the years, y'all. So it is important for me to say this. It is important for me to talk to the little girls who is not here yet. It is important for me to talk to the babies who's in the 7th grade and 8th grade and 9th grade and they thinking about getting in this business. It is important for me to let y'all know what to look out for. I'm obligated to do that, and I'm gonna tell you why. When y'all gave me the title of auntie, I didn't ask for it. I didn't sign up for it. I didn't campaign for it. I didn't write a letter. That's what you babies begin to call me, and I took it as an obligation.
And an honor.
And an honor for a community to now look at me as a 54-year-old woman and call me auntie. So my job is, and I'm obligated to say, this is what you must look out for. This is what you must watch out for. Because people that you welcome into your home, people that you break bread with, people that has cried on your shoulders, baby. You cannot be in your feelings when they go across the street and get on the bus to say, well, now we going down to the left. It ain't personal. It's just what it is when you know the history of Hollywood. However, what I want y'all to know about me, it's important. I am not the sister. I'm making sure that it. Can y'all still hear us? I want to make sure we didn't. If you can still hear us, say yes. Yes. What I am not is the sister that you can poke, that you can say what you want to say, that you can make fun of and you can joke, because what I am is a comedian. What I am is a comedian. That's what y'all forget. And see, Vivica, when you questioned and you said you side-eyed the audience about them saying they were clapping for me, and how could she do that? Were you listening to the audience in front of me? They were entertained, sister. They were laughing. Some were standing. Some were hollering. They were enjoying themselves. So I hope now you don't take what I'm saying to you personal, because I don't take it personal. I just want to address it, so that maybe y'all will think twice before y'all start speaking on people's lives and their decisions, because you have your own issues.
And we have to stop being comfortable with hearing the tea spilled on someone else, but now you're uncomfortable with a black woman sharing her own personal experiences.
Yes.
She ain't dropping dimes. She ain't spilling the tea on nobody else. She's not spreading a rumor on somebody. That we're comfortable with that. She's telling to you, and she's speaking to you in reference to how do we avoid the pitfalls that's out there designed to catch us up.
How? So, June 18th, I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina, at the Duke Energy Center. And will I have some shit to say? Yes, but I keep the stage the stage. I keep this. When we talk to our community, it's in nothing but love. And I love us for real. Despite what y'all want to think, I even love the ones even more who don't get it. I love the black women even more who tell me to shut up and sit down, because I know I got to fight for your babies. Because you damn sure not. You damn sure not. So for every person out there.
So she does have a job. She's going to be performing. What you say, Miss T?
Girl, okay, I got my child. How about that? You ain't got to help me. I got her. You just focus on your career. And how about you lead by example instead of telling me now that you did it all for me. So you did this all for the cause. Well, none of this personal. You did this for the little black girls that are watching you, right? Okay. Well, why don't you teach those little black girls how to do it right and make jokes and put it in your show that you're going to have where? At the Civic Center? At the Y? What did she say? Where's she having it? One little small town? Well, whenever you do that itty bitty show, that's when you should have laid out your comedic jokes on it and shown that you were a comedian. You talking about people in the feelings? You in your, but you're not in yours. Okay, you're doing it for the cause, not because you have feelings, not because you were upset, but because you want to show the machine is the problem. You want to teach little black girls. Girl, bye. Okay, girl, bye. I got my baby. You focus on that career and your baby. How about that?
Thank you, Ralph.
Clearly worried about raising everybody in the world's child is not working out for you.
Well, she has been nominated as Auntie, okay? And I think
Girl, bye.
The thing is, if it was anybody else, roasted D.L. Hughley will be off the chain, but it was Mo'Nique.
Right. Wrong messenger. Exactly. It couldn't be you, or it couldn't be you right
he's
now.
He's somewhere drinking drunk, and he's like, "Oh, I hit a lick. I hit a lick."
And I'm going to continue to, because I'm booked and busy, right? So this was just, like you said, that was a gig for me. That was just a show. Just like that other show I did. It was just a show. I'm booked and busy, but you so stagnant, pretty much, is what he's saying, that you ain't going to be able to move on like you should. And that's true at the same time. So I just wish he would have been on his feet and either came with some really good jokes in his set, or did some light shade in his set towards her. I think that if he felt they were unhappy, it's probably because they were thinking he was going to at least say something. You ain't gonna say nothing about it till tomorrow?
Because his team told him. His team said, okay, let that shit go viral. It went viral over Memorial Weekend. Mm-hmm. And then boom, he got on Instagram and he started crying, woe is me. He started saying, I guess my better judgment. So when you say guess my better judgment, I decided to work with you. So people said, so that gets people going like, oh my God. Like, yeah, remember Oprah, remember Tyler Perry, remember Steve Harvey, remember this. And he's saying against my better judgment. Oh, there was an apology. They winded wounds. Oh, no, it's not. She's still going at it. So he took that and he been flying with it ever since because they was clapping back. But
it's true. Like, he's not saying anything that's not true. Maybe I should have known my judgment part, okay, that's just a dig. But the other part is true. Like,
I just want to know who goes to see D.L. Hughley in a stand-up show. Like, if the tickets was going, if they had tickets going on sale for $15, would you go see D.L. Hughley?
Is he gonna be in like a group setting?
It's just gonna be him. Would you go see him?
Can they get a little? No. I'm gonna need him and some other people.
That's why Mo'Nique was there.
Right. I'm gonna need some other people besides her. Vivica Fox, like, why is she? Oh, you standing up? When did she ever do stand-up?
She said something. Vivica Fox, Kim Whitley, good night, LSW, good night, Ralph. When Vivica Fox stepped in and said something, Kim Whitley, Gary Owen, comedian Sean, comedian Shang, and a whole bunch of other people. Yeah, they all jumped in. They was on his side. She didn't have no comedians on her side.
She ain't going to. She's not going to nobody on her side but that man that's sitting right beside her. That's who she got on her side.
She got the fans on her side, but that she does got the fans, but it just seems like his word is being heard more. That's what it seems like.
Because you're not with the no. Like, you're just not in the door. You've been blackballed for.
And these people that are really on D.L. Hughley's side, they act like they be going looking for D.L. Hughley. They be acting
ain't
like
nobody checking for him.
Yeah, all of a sudden now they all checking for him because he's beefing with Mo'Nique. Lord, he knew it.
But he got a dog, and he got that poor dog getting rubbed down. That poor dog now is probably looking for stress dog.
She read him down with the dog, and he basically used that to be cry woe is me. That my kids and my wife got me that dog because of my fault. And you gonna talk about it because and then she
do a little talk to that dog. They're gonna be help me.
But she says that she didn't talk about the dog. She talked about a person that has a partner dog, a companion dog, should not be talking about anybody else. So basically she said, you coming out here doing these damn jokes. You talked about Kanye West, you talked about Ice Cube, you talked about me, you talked about these people, but how can you even look at yourself in a mirror to talk about somebody when you got to have a support dog because you got issues? So she's calling him out. And she should have just responded with comedy.
I can't have some anxiety and be semi-funny. Like, that's two different things. Like, yeah, he pulled out they both got violins, and they bought them from the same store. And they play them. She got like 3 different ones, though. But they playing them. Okay,
hold on. One second. D is absolutely right. Mo'Nique, her calling out Netflix gave a lot of other people better deals. That is definitely true. Yeah. They went out there.
Not her.
Netflix went out there and got all the black comedians, the new ones.
Haddish and all of that.
All of them did shows with them and paid them what they supposed to because she called them out. So she's taking a bullet for the situation. It's just that I don't think that she's a horrible person. I don't think that she's wrong. I just think that she gave D.L. Hughley and the people that hate her so much ammunition. And I don't believe in giving your enemies ammunition to use against you when you got to look at all the sneak attacks that are going to come. So she might be right, she might be wrong, but if you go in there and you do that, it's going to be no, because he's already on a podcast, so he's going to bring it up. People going to pick it up. And now you got more platforms on Instagram that can cut it, clip it, and it can go viral. And that's what happened. She went viral. Everybody was like, oh, Mo'Nique, Mo'Nique.
But she went viral for like, okay, but people who go viral also, viral has a longevity. The Gorilla Group girl went viral too, but I mean, where is she now? Like, okay, your 15 minutes is going to come and go. And at the end of the day, he's still going to be winning because he's booked and busy. And you are going to now be trying to figure it out again. So I didn't tell you. Nobody is telling you to fall on this sword, right? No one's telling you have to be this leader for all of these. No one's saying that. You choosing to do that. So thank you for blowing the whistle, and now but that didn't help you. So okay, you did that for the people, right? For the other black girl. Now you did this for who? You did this to show that the system, and you got to educate everybody. That's not the way to do it. And you are the wrong.
And I understand what you're saying about that, but I think if you feel like that's your calling, and if you're deep down in that business and you see what they do to people that look like you speak up. And her speaking up did help a lot of people as well. And the people that it did help, they threw shade at her and they want to work with her because, she was blackballed. And then on top of that,
okay, well, there's a wrong way and a right way to show that it's corrupt. Dave Chappelle did it right?
He went against. He had backing. He had backing.
But
he had backing.
Right, he had backing. But she could have done it. Back when she did all of this, if she'd have done it the right way, it would have had a different impact. But she lets her emotions lead her. She didn't take a second to stop and think about it. If she had stopped and thought about it, this would be better. This whole spiel where she's been talking about everything but what we needed to talk about, that would have been more direct. She could have had this, grieved her feelings and said all of that, and it could have been funny, because I guarantee you, whenever Chris Rock does whatever he's going to do, it's going to be funny, and people are going to tune in. So you can do it a better way and get your story across. Dave Chappelle has told us all about the corrupt system through stories and jokes, and
hold on. Happy Day says the difference is Dave Chappelle's a man and she's a female. She's a black woman speaking up, and she's going against these bosses.
My question would be, so when did you start going against? When the tide stopped going your way? Like, when did you got upset about the Netflix deal, and that's when you decided to start going off? Like, when exactly? Because I really don't even know what her first thing was. Her first thing was the Netflix situation?
First thing was Oprah, then Tyler Perry.
Okay, and why was she mad at Oprah?
Because Oprah didn't back her. Then Oprah got mad at her because she wouldn't promote. Then Oprah wanted to invite the people that abused her on her show to combat what Mo'Nique said. And she thought Oprah was her friend, and she wouldn't give them that platform to do that, to victimize her again.
Okay, that's kind of messed up. Yeah, that is kind of dirty. Okay, I'll admit that's messed up, Oprah. That's messed
and
up.
Then did Tyler Perry said that she's hard to work with. Then he said she's not hard to work with. And then her husband explained when she was on set, she stood on the sword again by basically all the people that were extras. She called them bosses or whatever. They was just drinking lemonade and tea. And she was like, all of us big people are eating good food. Why not give them some food? And then she got in trouble for that because she's speaking up for other people. But It gotta be more than one person falling on the sword. A bunch of people gotta fall on the sword, because if you don't, a bunch of people, like, you know, once you get comfortable and blah blah blah, because if not, history keeps repeating itself with our entertainers, with contracts, and with business, that they get done in, but everybody else get done right, or at least better than what we have been done. We can go back to the music industry when they stole the music from us, stole country music, stole music from us. And then, you know, they will put other people on the cover, not the black people on the cover, and put another race on the cover, or, you know, basically give them contracts where they never make you go back to all them old songs, and most of them didn't even own the rights to the song, and they didn't have nothing. They were so happy for an opportunity. You know, you can go back to the Temptations.
That's why Ray Charles changed the game. Absolutely.
Stevie Wonder was a big influence on that. But he changed the game by action. And you know, she's a comedian, but because these artists continue to get burnt. This is why they keep complaining, and they get these lawyers. That's what Dave Chappelle did when he did his stand-up. He basically talked about he don't own the show, he don't have no rights to the Dave Chappelle show, and it's his name, and how they robbed him, how they took it away from him, how he don't get no money from it or anything. And so,
okay, so what's the difference? Because Dave Chappelle is booked and busy. But
see, when it comes to Dave Chappelle, he spoke that, but he still didn't burn any bridges, because he didn't say anything really. Exactly. He just left and he went to Africa, but he had $50 million. Mo'Nique didn't get no back end of these movies. She didn't get no back end. She didn't get the money that she wanted, that she was deserving to get, that these other people have. So she spoke up about it. And you already know, when you speak up, you got to be ready for everybody.
She not want to do, but wait. Wasn't she the one that, why did she refuse again to go on the tour for the movie? What was her reason?
Because she wasn't getting paid, and she didn't get the back end. So basically, they wanted her to work for free.
Okay, who read and signed the contract?
And one thing else, D. This is true too. I wanted to talk about this too. Anita Baker. As much as we love Anita Baker, we listen to her music. Anita Baker reminds me of when I was a kid, and my mom and my dad would dance in a house and love each other and put on, like, sometimes, you know, them good memories. Sometimes I will put on Anita Baker here and there. Not this, maybe last year, whatever, but Anita Baker didn't even own the rights to her music. Chance the Rapper had to help her get her masters back. So we see all these celebrities that got this and that, and they're doing so good at the time that they are on top, but they don't own nothing. They don't even own it. And we
also do it to each other. P. Diddy, are you going to give Mace back?
But the thing is somebody got to speak up, but it has to be a way that you can do it.
It's got to be a better way.
Yeah, it got to be. But I think this is the only way that she knows, but especially when you're by yourself. But sometimes you got to stand alone, and that's what she's doing. But hold on, let's finish her off with this show.
Every black woman out there, I'm speaking to us. Every woman out there, be unflinching in your position. Be unwavering in your position, and don't let a damn soul bully you. I don't care who it is. Let them know when they run into you, they running into a wall. So D.L. Hughley, you ran into a wall, brother. You ran into somebody that said, I ain't taking that land down.
And when you run into an individual, because people don't understand why Mo'Nique is the way that she is. See, when you run into an individual, because you wanted to tell your story in reference to the dog and your history and things of that nature, and that's fair. You're looking at a woman that was molested at 7 by her brother, her older brother, okay? 15, 16 years old. Then that brother walks her down the street and lets 2 other of his friends do the same thing to her. When she gets old enough and understands the level of violation that she experienced without her mother and father coming to her aid, She realized I gotta sometimes do this myself. I gotta fight. I'm not gonna let nobody else take nothing else from me. The only difference now is daddy and mama, we gonna stand together and do. They got us fooled in believing what we doing is odd, is wrong. No, we supposed to stand together and uplift our community. And black men out there who out here attacking these black women for taking a position, that's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of weakness. And I want to shout out the good brothers like David Banner.
Come on.
I want to shout out the good brothers like our main man from Full Force, Bow-Legged Lou.
Come on.
Who always shout us out.
Come on.
They're supportive and say, stand strong.
Come on.
Maurice Duncan. That he's, y'all don't know, but that's my man. He's a PR cat. They get some of the baddest cats on there.
We can't forget Mr. Nashville.
Can't forget Brother Larry Nashville.
Cannot. And I want to shout out a sister. Couple of them. One sister's name is Corey B.
Come on.
And that sister goes on the road with me. And when that sister told me after it was said and done, not when it was happening in the moment, when I found out people were putting her off of shows because of her relationship with me, and she looked at me and said, if you rockin', I'm rolling, bitch. I don't care about them people putting me off them shows. See that sister right there? She one of the baddest in the game. But there's another sister in this game that is a legend, that is a vet, that is so brilliant in what she does. And that sister's been calling me the whole way through. And her name is Roseanne Barr.
Come on.
The one we tried to throw away.
Oh my God.
See, I can't name the other black female comedians that say.
Okay. This is where I'm. Oh, okay. I can't.
I knew she was gonna say Roseanne Barr. I just knew it because when she first,
Oh my God.
she picked up Roseanne Barr before. I knew she was gonna go there.
I cannot. Did she?
She said she can't say the other black woman name because they'll be blackballed. So yes, there's a hit list. So why won't her and Nene Leakes do a show together? And what's her name? Mariah. They all need to band together.
Desperation. I can't band with anything that bands with Roseanne Barr. Like that, she just took me out with that. I'm completely done. How did we get here? Like, to me, we've strayed so much from the point that you should have been making. How did we even get here? And then he's still talking. It's bad enough that he just intersects. Did he just tell, like, I don't know, did y'all have a conversation about this? Like, you just told all hello? Was that personal business already known? I didn't know all that.
Well, they're going to be on the
Why?
list.
I didn't. Did you know that happened to her and all that? What she needs is some counseling. That's what it sounds like she needs. From what he just shared, she's been through it, and it makes how she moves it clears up some things for me. But it also shows me that she's really damaged and needs to go get some help, because it's not right. This ain't how you do it. And it's not going. She's the only one that's going to really lose in this situation. But she said Roseanne Barr, so that's where I get off the bus. That's my stop right there. I'm gonna keep my bonnet on.
Okay, 1 second. Here we go.
Roseanne.
She said Roseanne. I was like, baby. But Roseanne, she been fighting too. We don't want to go there. Okay, here we go.
That's a conversation for the other channel.
When I tell you my heart is goddamn racing, because I'm so proud, I'm so honored to be standing in front of you real motherfuckers. Y'all don't even understand. I have traveled the motherfucking world. But when I come to Detroit, see, people. Bitch, I know, right? See, when they called me to come play Detroit and come play the Fox Theater, and I ain't played the Fox Theater in over 20 motherfucking years.
Oh Lord, she hasn't played there in over 20 years. That's really blackball, girl. Let's keep going.
Goddamn excited. I was so motherfucking excited because I said, oh, a bitch is going back. A bitch is going back to the Fox Theater in motherfucking Detroit. When I tell you Detroit, y'all don't understand what the fuck I had to go through to stand in front of you beautiful motherfuckers tonight. Y'all don't understand the fight a bitch had to go through to stand in front of y'all tonight. Y'all don't understand I was ready to walk the fuck up out of here, but I said I can't let the people down of motherfucking Detroit because the promoters is ready as a motherfucker. I don't fuck with nobody. I take pride in not fucking with nobody, nigga. But if you fuck with me, we gon' dance, nigga. We gon' do the two-step, nigga. See, I take pride, baby. In my whole motherfucking career, can't nobody tell you I ever started no shit with them. That ain't what the fuck I do. My heart would hurt if I tried to bully a motherfucker or start some shit with a motherfucker. But what niggas had to understand about me, I ain't for that Hollywood bullshit. If you cross the motherfucking line, Oprah, if you cross the motherfucking line, Tyler, I'm gonna see you cool motherfucker. Come on the cool train, nigga. Choo-choo! Them niggas told me, Monique, let go and let go. Let go and let go. They have taught niggas to be so motherfucking fearful and just give it to God. Let go and let go. That's why I kept hearing the shit over and over and over again. So I said, well, let me let the shit go and let me give it to God. And you know what God did? He gave it right the fuck back. He said, bitch, I gave you everything you need to deal with these motherfucking coons. Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley. I gave you everything you need to deal with these motherfucking coons. I don't fuck with nobody. See, tonight, I'm gonna tell y'all what the fuck is going on, because y'all know one thing about me, bitch, I'm gonna tell. That's why they like me as a little girl, bitch, because I'm gonna tell. Bitch, I'm gonna tell you out there kissing Petey on the playground, bitch. You nasty whore, we in the 3rd grade, bitch. I'm going to tell. Yes, he pumped me, bitch, but nobody saw it. I want to tell. See, I fucks with contracts. That's why niggas got a problem with me. If you sign the motherfucking contract, that's what the fuck it is. But they're so used to niggas fucking around with the contract and being nervous because they might lose an opportunity or a motherfucking chance. So they will redo the contract. I'm not a bitch who's gonna redo the contract. If you sign the motherfucker, that's what the motherfucker is. So tonight, see, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna break it down to you, Detroit, because I would feel less than a motherfucking woman if I didn't let y'all know what the fuck was going on this stage right now. So my energy is a little different, nigga, because they got me fucked up. They got me fucked up. They got me fucked up. So the contract, oh, nigga. The motherfucking contract said that a bitch is the headliner. The headliner. Let me say it again. The headliner. That's what the motherfucking contract says. Mo'Nique is to be the last motherfucking person on the goddamn stage. She is the headliner. That's what I signed the fuck up for. I'm 30 plus years in this motherfucking business, and I don't open for no goddamn body. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. But a nigga named D.L. Hughley turned into a bitch and said I won't perform if she does that. I won't go out if she does that. Nigga, you open for the kings of comedy. I close for the queens of comedy, nigga. And you think that I don't have a dick, that ain't my position, nigga. So when I leave this motherfucker, the headliner has left. I don't fuck with nobody. I don't fuck with no motherfucking body. But when you cross the line with me, nigga, you have crossed the motherfucking line. And that bitch, nigga, has crossed the motherfucking line. See, we got a history, nigga. We got a history. That nigga went on a tour talking about all Monique wasn't. You can Google it right now. D.L. Hughley on Monique, all I wasn't, what I wasn't worth, all of this bullshit. And nigga, you put your feet under my motherfucking table. So you came to my home, nigga, and you put your feet under my motherfucking table. I don't get down like that, goddammit. You got a bitch wrong. You talk about young love, and because of their names, nigga, your name is D.L. What the fuck does it stand for? How far you bending over, nigga, on the D.L.? You fuck with the wrong one. That's my family, nigga. I'm home, nigga. I'm motherfucking home, yo. I go all the way back with Coco in the motherfucking lounge in the back of the bar when they was cooking motherfucking fried fish, bitch. That's me, nigga. That's me, Detroit. I'm the bitch who did fucking nigga in the car, but bitch, that happened so long ago. See, black women, let me tell you something. A lot of black men in Hollywood got a problem with me. Because I got a motherfucking black king. That's my husband. And them niggas can't understand it. They can't fathom it. It makes them motherfucking sick. Because at what time did black men start attacking black women? What kind of real nigga is that? That's a bitch nigga. That's a bitch nigga. What kind of real nigga would ever attack a goddamn black woman? A bitch nigga. I feel sorry for D.L. Hughley's family. I feel sorry for his motherfucking wife. Because how do you suck the dick of a coward? I tried to play fan, bitch. I tried to play fan, nigga. I tried to play fan. We was on the countdown, nigga. 10, 9, 8, 7, check. See, I don't fuck with nobody. And as an entertainer, families are off limits. As entertainers, we don't fuck with each other's families. Because for me, that is crossing the line. See, I want to give you all a history so you understand a bitch's position. I want to give you the history, mama, so you understand. See, when I look at my wives and sisters, and she look at me like this, get that, nigga. Thank you, mama. See, I did this radio show one time, right? Because I'm thinking, this is my boy.
Okay, yeah. So I think it was all pre-written.
Yeah.
I feel you, D. D said that she doesn't understand why she's still using the N-word. So what do you think about so far of the stand-up?
It's not really funny to me. You angry. You sound angry than a mug, but it's not really jokes. It's more like you on a rant. It doesn't really, I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and it's the same thing she's been saying. Okay, your name was on the contract. Okay, you were supposed to be the headliner, but at the end of the day, you still came out. You weren't the headliner, and it is what it is. I don't know why, but she just went for his fan. So it's like, it's the hypocrisy. You don't want him to talk about your husband or his assistant. It wasn't even him.
What did I have to do with your content? What did my dog have to do with your content?
So then you bring in his wife and say why she had to be in it. Like, he didn't talk about your husband. Some person on his staff did, and he handled that. So to me, that's just all anger. It's not really jokes. It's her just being angry. Like, how you gonna say that? Like, I don't know. You're a coward. I feel sorry for your family. I thought you just said families were off limits.
The question is, where is Mo'Nique's, this towards DL is all over the place, but his ain't. Why is that?
His what? What he had to say?
When he came on the show, after she did what she did, he closed out. So why isn't that anywhere? Nobody recorded him?
No, because he stuck to the script and he didn't ad-lib like he's supposed to and take advantage of the moment like he was supposed to. Because he missed an opportunity. He probably just did what he had planned. That ain't nothing to tape. We don't need to tape that. Now, he would have really went viral. What you do is, as a headliner and a comedian, you now come out and you address right now what just happened. You address all that. There you go. We would have seen his viral if he'd have been able to be on his feet like he came with all that other foolishness. Take the dog.
Okay, 1 second.
But all them other jokes.
Hold on 1 second. I think this is his.
Yeah, Hughley. That show they were supposed.
Yeah, that's not his.
Social media with our.
Damn. Kanye and damn, what did I miss? Damn. Kanye and Monique. Can't go nowhere. Apparently, Precious was not a movie. That shit was an autobiography. God damn. I hate everybody. Damn. Netflix and Steve. You know what I understand? Man, we just went through one of the roughest weeks in recent history. 10 black people get slaughtered in Buffalo because they're black. We got 21 kids getting slaughtered in Mexico, and you want to talk about you all the goddamn time. You about you.
Fast forward to the next day, Monique would ask to see Hughley's contract.
So that's a little bit of it. He looks like Red Fox on that stage.
Yeah, that wasn't funny. That was not a good comeback. Bless his heart. Yeah, that wasn't funny. And then you're gonna double down on the not funny by reminding us about all the shootings that just happened. Yeah, that wasn't funny or a good comeback at all.
That's why ain't nobody talking about his comeback, Lord.
Yeah, he bless his heart. Some comedians can think on their feet and some can't. Because that's a missed opportunity right there, I promise you. Like Eddie Murphy or somebody, or even David Chappelle, Cat Williams. I can see all of them coming right off the dome. It would have been on. Yeah, he missed the moment. He really did. But it wasn't jokes either. She just sounded mad to me. She sounded real pissed off. It wasn't funny. It was like, I'm about to tell you my story. She should have done it differently. And he shouldn't have commented at all unless he had something good to say. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. That's why they probably did go home like, I tell you one thing, she if she wasn't the headliner, she decided she made herself the headliner. She said, I am the headliner. She made herself the funny one. Okay.
Like, yeah, his comeback was bad.
Yeah, he should have waited till he could write stuff down.
But his comeback came through Instagram. Because basically he said the same shit that he been saying. And yeah.
About the dog and all that.
Oh yeah, his comeback was trash.
Yeah, he should let that. Bless his heart. Bless his heart.
So
yeah, she's a much better comedian. She would have been hilarious. I wish she would just stop getting in her own way. Like, for real. She gets in her own way. Just like Nene got in her own way. You get in your own way sometimes. Like, her biggest obstacle is her.
Should have just gave him 2 minutes and then went on to something else. because
some quick light shade, and then now we got another what? Angry black woman moment. Thanks, Monique.
Some quick shade. And kept moving. Gave him some quick shade. Oh yeah, he tried to play me, but I love you guys the most, so I'm out here, doing what I do better because I'm better than him at comedy. And then, said some stuff like that, made some jokes, and then went on to a whole different topic and subject. Right. And he was flustered. He didn't really know what to say. His shit was boring.
He didn't know what to say. Like, she just slapped him. He didn't know what to say. He was just like, oh. Okay.
Oh, she's talking about this. What about all the tragic stuff that's going on? He had no comeback.
And I mean, that ain't no comeback. That don't help. That
just like you said, that is not funny at all. Oh, you just mad and angry at everybody. Yeah, we know she's angry, but tell us a joke, goddammit. Yeah, she just told us she was angry. Okay.
Right. She was angry. Well, let me tell you why she, I'm this, blah, blah, blah. Or stick with the Netflix thing. Or, the Precious thing was a low blow because that's not cool. Don't body shame her. That's not cool. You ain't got to do all that. You could have just kept it what it is.
His shit was so raggedy that the community is not even coming out saying that he was wrong for even saying that. It's not a movie. She really is precious when she really is. Not she really is precious, but, she... The way some of the story is a part of her life. So,
I see that now.
So now he didn't even get no backlash for that.
Well, because he looks like the victim. She came out angry.
He played it. He played the victim. Boy, he rolled over. He's on his back on the ground, just scratching his back. Help me.
I mean,
she's attacking me.
It's funny because it's like when keeping it real goes wrong, child. She keeping it real. And I believe her. I do. I believe what she's saying, and I believe that she's been done wrong, and I believe that, she's had to fight a lot of battles. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, and you gotta, if you know what the game is now, so don't lose yourself, but be smart. You ain't gotta fall on the sword, because now, again, she's the only one that's really gonna suffer. She's the only one who's suffering already. Like, he's talking about the dog and...
Unless her plan was to talk about all these mother suckers and go viral.
That sounded angry. That sounded like anger. It didn't flow. It was like, let me really tell you what's going on. It wasn't like a story like with jokes. There were no jokes. It was just her venting and being mad and going off. But it wasn't, to me, it wasn't really funny. It was funny to, I guess, maybe to watch her spiral. That probably was funny in the feud, but at the end of the day, she just sounds angry. She sounds angry and he just sounds confused. It's just a mess.
He just basically said this is going to be an easy show. I ain't got to do much. His people was already like, this going to go, it went viral. And Monday came, and boy, wasn't he on Instagram, and she was going back and forth with him. Then he got on his show. Everybody was waiting to hear what D.L was going to say. What's his comeback? Because because nobody saw the comeback that he had because it was garbage. It was trash.
You had to write it down.
It was, imagine if Monique wasn't there.
Real quick.
Imagine if Monique wasn't there. Them people would have been real disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because that was his real. They sure was.
They would have been disappointed. Monique saved his ass. She handed him a new opportunity and a new career.
Thank you once again. There she go, giving out careers again
to people that she don't even mess with.
You get a career. Right.
She's
giving everybody a piece of her career. That's why she ain't got none.
His podcast is at 1 million views. The shit that he did on Instagram is at 1 million and plus up. He wasn't getting that before. He knew, he was like, he probably was like, I hope she cuss me out. I hope she go below the belt. And once she did, they was like, oh, this is how we gonna spin this and this is how we gonna turn it. Nobody is talking about what he said because nobody heard what he said.
Nobody heard what he said. All we got was your angry self. That's the problem. He might have. He probably did antagonize her. He probably did. I believe the way she's saying it is coming from her soul. Like that. Like she feels every word she's saying. So I believe that, yeah, he played you, and he's not funny, and yeah, you got played. But yeah, you saved him. But I wish you would have saved yourself instead of saving. Yeah, everybody wins when you don't, which is sad. Like I said, I wanted to get out of her own way, really. But yeah, she was speaking some truth. But all this that they doing on vacation, yeah, they doing the most. Her and Daddy, yeah, they doing the most. They need to go do something else because it's just not making it better. I'd rather, again, that she handle it, keep it on the stage. Keep it on the stage. Or have a better comeback and have your stuff together. Because, again, now you're just rambling again. Well, he had time to think about it, so he had his little bullet points. Boom, boom, boom. And he hit all of them. But you just rambling again because you angry on your vacation with Daddy. Instead of going to enjoy your vacation, you over here talking about black women and all of this stuff. Vivica Fox? Okay. It's just too much. It's too much. And I wish she would have just not sabotaged herself. Because literally, like, the door was just being cracked. That bad boy closed now. And she better hope that Tyler and all of them, because, yeah, it is a big syndicate. You better hope that 50 Cent don't change his mind or some producer or whatever says, you know what, maybe she is too hard to work with. Maybe we don't want her, or we'll just see how she does for a couple episodes and we won't make her character long. Like, she's not thinking of the bigger picture, which is unfortunate. Because you seem to know that everybody's got this control. You just don't know how to navigate around it except for telling us. And I appreciate that. But sometimes keeping it real can go wrong. And this went wrong. It wasn't funny. It was just angry. It's just angry, girl. But I'm happy for Johnny Depp, though. I'll tell you that much. I'm happy for him. Because this right here.
He's happy, too. He is partying tonight. They both partying, girl.
Should. He should. No, poor baby. Oh, you saw her face? Oh, her face was cracked. Her face was cracked. I just don't understand why she really, first of all, I don't get it. Like, okay, maybe she was cute back in the day, but I don't get it. I don't get it, Johnny. I don't. And they had a very toxic, extra toxic. Ooh, that was toxic. But she's a complete narcissist. I really think she thought she was gonna get this. She did not. She looked real crazy. And she's a terrible actress. Like, what else has she been in besides Aquaman? Like, don't do that. Poor Johnny. But I'm happy that he's vindicated, because I ain't never seen Johnny like that. I've seen him. Yeah, this is a whole new Johnny. The Johnny I remember was doing big things. This Johnny, poor baby, she done beat him down. He really looked like exhausted. Look at oh, that's awful. Poor baby. But she a narcissist. But she really thought she was gonna win. She really did.
That shit was terrible.
And I don't even know what she's gonna do. Because I don't think she's got that much money.
Says everywhere I check, it says that her net worth is negative $8 million.
Yeah, you're in the red now, man. Yeah, absolutely.
She owes this man $15 million. Well, really $10 million. Because
35, yeah, and the 3 point, yeah. She don't have the pen.
He can't. He
He
can't get the $5 million in punitive damages.
Right. He can only get the 350 or whatever.
Yep. 325,000.
But she doesn't have the million. She don't have the million. Even if we subtract your 2, okay? Since you got 2, we subtract that. It's still 8 and some change. She ain't got it. She ain't got it. So I don't know what she's gonna do. And that's another one. Girl, she completely blackballed. I don't even know how I don't know how she better get on OnlyFans. I don't know how she's gonna make any money. She's gonna be blackballed. We shall see. That's another one.
Well, she only got to pay him $350,000 in punitive damages, but he needs 10 first, girl. If he gives you 2, you got to give him the 2 back. And if you negative 8 million, she gonna take that 2 million and run and get out the country, girl. She gonna be gone.
Yeah, you need to figure out something. Yeah, you need a backup plan. You better get on that secret baby with Elon or something. You better figure it out. Because, yeah, you need a backup plan. What you should have done, again, you fumbled the bag. You should have just been quiet, taking your little money, and went about your business. But you kept talking, and you thought that you really was fooling everybody. And you were not. Ooh, her face was cracked. But just the craziness. Who poos in the bed? Who does that? Who does that? Like, I can't even, like, she's a whole nother set of crazy. Poor baby. Poor Johnny. He just been going through it. But he been doing drugs, so it's not like, I think she just made him spiral again. You know,
so
he been getting it in.
So, Dave Lewis says, you know, he can garnish her paychecks, you know, anytime she gets paid. So that means she probably won't be working because she don't want to give her no money. I don't know. She's got
to figure something out.
She got to figure something out.
Pay for her child. She got to figure something out.
Because he going to want his money. He ain't just going to let it go.
And it doesn't go away in bankruptcy either. So she could file bankruptcy and that is still going to be right there. So, yeah. And it's not even really about the money to him. I think it was more about clearing his name, which he absolutely did. But now you're in some trouble, ma'am. You're in some trouble. And you need to run that money. I don't know where she's going to get it. But she better figure it out.
She's going to go to sugarbaby.com. Sugardaddies.com.
Something, OnlyFans, Sugar Babies, I don't know.
I don't even think them sites exist anymore, but that's where she's going to go. But is there anything else you'd like to add, Miss T? You want to talk about the Will Smith situation?
Will is a grown man, and so he shouldn't have, again, wrong road. Like, that wasn't the way to handle it. But I don't believe that it is her. She shouldn't be completely to blame for his actions. Even if she makes him feel in their weird situation less than the man, that's on him. He's choosing to be in that situation. So I don't blame her for the slap part. Now, I hope she's not lying about the alopecia, but I had absolutely no clue that was a thing for her, at least until this situation, because she's always had really short hair or no hair. Right now, her daughter has a shaved head. She doesn't have alopecia, so to me, I just thought it was what she wanted to do. You know, I didn't think it was necessary. I thought that was just how she wanted to rock it. She was making a statement. So I really didn't know about the alopecia thing, and I think it was just she should have let that just kind of roll. But it's not his fault. It's not her fault that he did that. But she needs to keep her mouth closed. But I promise you, eventually, her and him are gonna sit down and they're gonna get that bag and they're gonna sit at that red table and they're gonna have a conversation. But I don't see Chris ever going to do that because
I know.
No,
it would be so
I'm not
nice.
about to let y'all get paid off of me. The fuck? No, hell no. No. There's not enough. No, I'm going to do it on my own and get a nice little coin. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on my own. So whenever they decide, whenever Will comes back from his spiritual journey of enlightenment, whenever he decides to come back and he decides he want to talk about it, then that's when they should talk about it. Until then, she really shouldn't say anything. She should just be quiet since he's not saying anything. And I can't say that she doesn't have it because I don't know. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But I really wasn't taking that in until she brought it to this forefront. And there's a whole video of her saying she's proud and she's standing in her truth and she don't care what everybody has to say and da 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 da. So I wonder if it even affected her. I mean, I guess she was upset because, again, they got history. But I wonder how much it could have just rolled. Will didn't have to do all that. It could have just rolled off the bat. So I don't believe, and maybe it is because he can't breathe in his marriage. But again, that's his choice, right? It's his choice to stay with bad marriage for life. What?
Bad, I know.
Like, who says that? So them breaking up, nah, it's cheaper to keep her at this point. No, they're not gonna break up. They're gonna keep doing the foolish, weird, crazy stuff
shit they've been doing. But what do you think about her saying me and Will are gonna continue doing this thing that we've been doing for 28 years, this thing called life, and then that being a title of August Alsina album in 2015?
Bless his heart. Bless his sweetheart.
Do you think that she said we're going to continue doing this thing called life that we've been doing for 28 years? Do you think she was referencing him, or she just used that as a regular statement?
It could have been a little of both. Maybe it's a double meaning, but I mean, this thing called life, people say that like often. But knowing them, it could, you never know. But if I don't think that he's still messing with her, so I don't think that they're not about to take that back up. So if that was a little subliminal wink to him, okay, I guess. But I think it just happenstance, this thing called life, because they've already said bad marriage for life. So, they're just reiterating that they're going to stick this thing out. Okay. You like it, I love it. You like it, I love it. But no, I don't think that was. I think that's that poor boy. That's a whole tragedy in itself. I think he's probably still. Now, if she called, I'm sure he would answer
and tell the world.
Very clear. But there's no way she can go back and do that again. That's who she really wants. Ain't that a shame? That's who she really wants. But she can't get him.
All right, Miss T, is there anything else?
No, I think that's it. What you had? What was the other topic?
That was it.
I don't know. That was 3. I thought there was something else you talked about.
Oh, the other one is they're naming Bethany from Real Housewives of New York as, they're going to crown her as reality royalty. And that's a big debate, and honor her at the MTV Movie and TV Awards. And people are saying there should be Tammy Roman there. There should be.
Or Carly B or something.
No, for reality TV, like royalty. Somebody, I don't know what they category.
Like, what's your definition of royalty?
Yeah, I mean, like, how did they pick her? Did they pick her because of the money? Or how did they pick her? Is it because of how many years? So I don't know, but it's basically people are saying.
If they picked her because of the money, then I would say that it should be somebody like Carly B, because she came off of what? Love and Hip Hop. That's reality.
But she wasn't. Yeah, but she wasn't like really on for she wasn't even on for a year. But when you're crowning somebody reality royalty, and honor them for what they have done, they made reality TV a part of their career. So you would go with Tammy Roman, 1993. People would go with
Nene Leakes.
People would go with Nene Leakes. People would go with who else? Tiffany Paula or Omarosa. Who else? Whoever, they're just
a black, yeah. Who's the black ones? Like maybe somebody from Basketball Wives. Like I would say Shawnee, but like Jackie or somebody like that. Somebody that's done, somebody who's been in it for a minute, maybe Catherine Huger or something like that. Somebody who's been in it and is making it.
Yeah, for a while, yes.
That's the only thing I can think.
So it has.
She's the biggest money maker
from reality TV as far as in that boat. So she's somebody from a reality TV show. She's from somebody from Bravo, somebody from the Real Housewives, So I guess they were, people kind of upset about it, but they're going to pick whoever they want to nominate. You got to nominate your own queens, baby.
Yeah, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what the definition of royalty is. I don't know how they judge this. Did they judge it on her massive
business? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. They didn't break down how they picked her.
See, and that's what I would have to know. How you picked her, because at this point I think it's got to be money. It's got to be money.
Because, you know,
and maybe
Kim
longevity. She was on there a while. Kim Kardashian or something would that be royalty?
She won the People's Choice Award or the reality something like that. She won a big award when Portia had went down there. I think she was chosen as the People's Choice or something like that because she's been in reality TV, and the awards were based on reality TV and some of them things of that nature. But she already got an award, but people were debating, like, why did they pick Bethany?
Yeah, I don't even know why they picked you.
But they gotta be.
We're looking at money. We could pick Candy. I mean, like, why did they pick you? Because Candy's been on reality and made tons of money too. Yeah, she had money before, but she's made a lot of money during reality too. So I need to know what the criteria is. If it's longevity or reach on your reality show, well then that would have to, if we're doing royalty side, that makes me think like one of the queens or kings of royalty. So I would have to say royalty would be like Nene or something like that. Or somebody who really put their stamp and really brought reality TV to the forefront. I don't think that if that's what the definition is, it shouldn't be her. If it's money, then I guess so. I don't really. Either way, it don't. Girl.
Either way, it don't even
New
matter.
York crew. Yeah. She's from New York. She ain't nobody worried about that. Ain't nobody worried about that, girl. But all right. Well, I think that's it.
I think that's it, girl. Wouldn't they even? Well, no, they can't. They can't do Wendy Williams because she did radio and shit. But
and she knew.